right, welcome back to the Big League 2026 season recap. We're on the other side now. We're going to do the Fire Conference. I'm here with JR, the Somerville GM again, and with
Yo.
Reese, the Outlaws GM, joining us for the first time on the podcast. Welcome, boys.
Hey,
All right, welcome back.
I'm excited. I'm excited to get into. I think the Fire Conference has been where the better storylines are. People are starting to compete for once. So yeah.
Yeah, we've brought in some talented GMs. One of them with us here, obviously with the drunk scouting report or the DSA. What do you call it? Drunk
DSA, oh yeah. Those are my boys.
Drunk
Oh,
scouting.
yeah,
What's
yeah.
the word? What's the last word?
Drunk Scouting Association. It's the OSA.
Association. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, no, that's been a huge addition to the league. Super grateful that you provide that content, and I think everybody else really loves it too.
I like it. Now that I see that Somerville has like the number 2 system or something. But the work that put into it just shows you how bad OSA is as far as predicting anything, because DSA is totally different, and I think it's more accurate.
Yeah, I would like to argue that. It's not a perfect approximation, but I do enjoy using it, and it's it's always fun to keep tabs on the rest of the league. So
Yes.
yeah,
And
I love doing that. So
I appreciate it gives the shitty GMs some hope because they see their name on the DSA
Well,
list and they don't give up.
I have a story. I have a quick story about DSA. I had a player on there, Joe Warfield, and one time DSA said he was basically my best player, and he wasn't close to it. I mean, he was good, great shortstop, one of the better shortstops in league history. But the minute I saw that, I offered Warfield to Reese for a first rounder, even though the guy was like on a minor league contract. I was like, hold on a second, he's a 70 on DSA. Let's see if Reese is going to really put his money where his mouth is and trade for this guy. So he turned it down, I think. Yes.
yeah, no, it's not we don't follow it by the book. It's just like I said, it's I treat it like my drunk scouts coming to me with recommendations. So
Yeah. Well, got to see where your ideology or whatever your
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I think we start off here today with the Topaz division. They have the defending champions. And we will skip over Kansas City briefly and start with Virginia and Andrew's team as the defending champions. Just 2 games out of first place this year. And yeah, let's just take a quick look at them and their season. You guys still with me?
yeah, I got him still here.
JR, I think you cut out. I think you cut out mid-sentence there, so I don't know if your audio just dropped. But taking a look.
I think for Virginia, it's been a lot of like pitching and defense. I like their staff, their top 4. They've
Can you hear me now?
Ken, yep, you're back.
All right. Yeah. That's me. My fault.
yeah.
Yeah.
Bottom Crow, Horio, Snyder, like that's a good 4. 2 of those are 1-2s. The other 2 both could serve as 3s. That's a good rotation.
For sure. Horio had a great season. This guy's 33 years old. Kind of.
Yeah.
A rounded team. That's the thing about Virginia. Just very, very deep very deep. Period. And let's see, second in the conference for ERA. Also, on the hitting side, where we at in runs here, they are not all the way up there in runs. I guess the offense
Really good.
leaves something to be desired, but that's it.
Yeah, and I mean they were in the top percentage of the Fire Conference in offense. Yeah, I think it's been spoken in general chat. The offense on the Fire Conference side is pretty lacking. Not a lot of big bats, a lot of pitching, really on this side of the conference. But if you look, I mean, 3rd in on-base percentage, 5th in batting average, 2nd in batting WAR, 4th in steals. So the offense is there, but the pitching really is the highlight of this team. And the defense, like Reese just mentioned, 1st in defensive efficiency and zone rating. A pretty well-rounded team. for sure.
Yeah, I think they ran into some challenges this season, probably due to the drop in offense. I mean, when you're up there and on base and the batted ball and slug seems to be pretty good, it just seems like situationally they're having a tough time just being middle of the pack as far as scoring runs.
Yep. Just kind of looking at the offense. I mean, they had some kind of standout guys this year. Vinny House, he's been a consistent piece in Virginia for, through the start of his career here at 30 years old. But definitely had a breakout year this year.
Yeah, that is a good example of a Somerville guy who just learned how to play the game, and he was one of the Rule 5 guys. I had no room for him. I've tried to trade him forever. Nobody wanted him. Glad to see him getting a full season of at-bats.
Yep.
Go ahead. Yeah, you got Danny Meza too. Mashed.
Yeah, he had a great
Looks like
season.
He'll be around for a while.
He had a great season. He played all in 162 games this year. Was just a consistent presence. And yeah, at only 23 years old here in his second season, he looks like he has a pretty bright future for Virginia.
Yeah, that's good.
Solid bullpen too. I mean, again, the defense is just really that good that pretty scary to go against this staff, partially because of that.
This team's, for our league, I feel like this team's surprisingly old. We have a really young league, but he's got a lot of guys in the 29, 30, 31, in that kind of mid-range where some of them might start falling off.
I think they only have a couple guys. I think Horio is a pending free agent, but outside of that, most of the core group is going to be still here, assuming he keeps a lot of them. Yeah,
I have him at the 12th oldest team, so...
Oh, wow. Okay.
Maybe
not too bad.
Yeah, so 28.4 years old per averager. But that could be misleading. A couple of guys like Nate Weaver. I mean, Vinny House is now 30. But I mean, they're still in their prime.
Yeah.
I mean, I got their top. What I'm saying, their top 4 guys, including Kirk Graham, depending on how you view relievers, are all 29 and under. So, but after that, they got some veteran depth. It'd be interesting to see where they go after this year. But yeah, just a solid squad. Definitely scary in the playoffs again. I think pitching and defense are always going to be big. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, just looking at all the playoff teams we've kind of looked at yesterday and today, all have that kind of elite closer at the back end. It really tells you how important it is to have that in place to really shut down games. Because losing games in the 8th and 9th inning can really kill your season.
Yes. I don't know how much he's spending because.
Well, that guy's on a rookie contract.
Yeah, rookie contracts. All right.
3 years in for the closer. Looks like a lot of his money's locked up. So Andrew uses team options more than any other GM in the league. So he does not commit at all to any of these guys. In a sense, it's kind of smart, right? You can offer up to 2 team options, and he can get out of any of these contracts next year if he wants to. He can pick and choose who he wants to move forward with and who he wants to let go. And I think it's a smart way to go with the way our contracts are set up here. And if you're listening and if you are a newer GM, probably something you should be aware of is that we don't allow player options in this league. You can sign a player option, but as soon as we hit opening day, that becomes a guaranteed contract. So if you are taking advantage of player options, maybe a guy will sign for less if he gets a player option, so you can use it. But just understand you're not going to get out of that. If you do sign one, it's going to turn into a guaranteed contract on opening day. Something that's not in the rule book, so it's good to kind of highlight that.
You should explain that's a J rule.
It is a J rule because Jay,
yes.
Jay. A lot of rules are because of Jay. Jay's very good at working the system and helping us set rules and boundaries.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of like what he does with his front office. He's been a good GM since he's joined. I mean, Andrew joined in like 2007 or 2006, somewhere around there. He's one of the longer tenured GMs in the league.
Virginia was a great franchise to take over. They've always
Yeah.
had decent talent.
Yep.
They didn't squander their drafts, and I think he just took over at a good time. And a very healthy organization the whole most of the time they've been in the TBL.
Well, he's really coming to his own, though, here in the 2020s. If you look, I'm on his page now. Again, I think he took over in like 2007, maybe. So, like, that first year they missed the playoffs. Maybe 2006. But he only made the playoffs like 4 times in his first, 12, 13 seasons. And a couple of those teams were 80-win teams. So, with the exception of 2012 there. So, definitely wasn't, in my eyes, like one of the premier GMs in the league. But he's really built a powerhouse here in the last 7 seasons, which culminated in that championship last year.
Yeah.
But yeah, the last thing I'd probably say about this team, definitely every single position, if you click in, like, defense is so important on this team. Most of these guys.
The guy I have as their top prospect, David Green. He's in AAA right now, looking pretty good. Or AA. He'll probably move up soon. Another glove wizard. They got a guy in Giolotti, right-handed pitcher, coming up in AAA. So they have some reinforcements coming too.
Yeah, I it would be curious to hear what Andrew's approach is to the draft, but something tells me he looks for defense when he's drafting, which makes sense. Yeah. I mean, some of these guys look really good, but they also look like, you could draft 30 first basemen a year, with some of the defensive numbers with guys. So it's a smart strategy, and he takes good advantage of it. He's a pretty smart GM.
Yeah, it's working pretty well. So.
Any last thoughts on this team?
Probably. I mean, it's we'll get into Kansas City, but when we talk about the Fire Conference just becoming as good, if not better, than the Ice, it's Virginia and Kansas City who lead the charge to San Antonio. So just them being consistent has really made this conference what it is.
Yeah, for sure. Yep. I am curious, just looking one last thing at the base running. They're 15th. And I don't really know what goes into base running. I do, but I don't really know what he's doing to make his base running so bad. And that's the only kind of red flag I see on this team.
It's the thing about the base running statistics in this game is that you don't really know unless you look at every single base running event what's going on.
Yeah, it doesn't help that their guy that gets on base the most Mesa has a 20 base running, so that's probably hurt.
Yeah, and he's in the top of the order too. So that's a challenge when you try to start rallies, and that could be part of it. Some guys like to mess with their sliders depending on whether or not they're in the playoffs. I'm talking about myself, honestly. Sometimes I just turn them all the way down just to make sure nobody gets injured, when everything is locked up. But there's a lot of things that could be going on there.
Yeah, and I think my other observation here is he's got 2 switch hitters there in Mesa and House, who we've highlighted. He's got a lefty in the 8th spot as center fielder. Outside of that, he's all righties. His pitching staff is pretty much primarily right-handed pitchers. He's got 2 lefties.
Yes.
But if you look, they statistically haven't been great for him this year. They're probably his 2 worst pitchers on the staff. ERA is not everything, but or anything, I guess I should say. But, just with a quick
ERA is partially fielding. It's fielding is pitching, is what the phrase is.
Yep. I guess I'm just looking at his team here, and those 2 ERAs are the outliers of his entire staff, and they're both his lefties, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So
near the bottom of the league against right-handed pitching as far as hitting. So, bottom half, I shouldn't say near the bottom, but he kills left-handed pitching, 780 OPS, has a team versus left-handed pitching, which is only it's 3rd in the TBL next to Denver and Oklahoma City. Denver's got an 848 OPS as a team against left-handed pitching.
Yeah, he did go 30. Crazy. He did go 30 and 16 against lefties this year, 67 and 49 against righties. So
Yeah.
very interesting. All right, let's take a look at the next team and the division winners this year, and the winner of the first round bye in the Fire Conference, and that's Brad and the Kansas City Scouts. This team has been pretty good for a couple of years now as well, as you just mentioned. Taking a look again, I don't know what year Brad took over, but this was an expansion team, and you can look at the record. They were not good. I do think he took them over in a decent situation, though. I think the GM before him actually was building something before he took off, and Brad's just kind of taken it and run with it and done a really good job.
Yeah. This is I always bring this up about Kansas City, is that they always have a lot of talent and doesn't have the budget, because he's an expansion franchise, to retain everybody. So this is just reloading. You know, I mean, he retains the pitching, but there's some position players that have gone. There are some pitchers that have left, but he keeps on figuring out a way to keep this team at the top of the division. A lot of young talent.
Yep, if you look at his pitching, he's got all his money in his starting rotation, and they're all locked up for multiple years. He just gave Rivera a 5-year extension. He's got Kilby for 5 years. Wilson's for 4 more years. Wilson's getting paid a ton of money.
I think Greenwell's the exception there, but he's their 4th starter. So, but yeah, we'll see if he resigns him. But yeah, the way I see them, they got 2 number 1 starters and 2 number 2s. Arguably, maybe one of them number 3 starters, but yeah, scary staff.
Yeah, a lot of decision making ahead for him. Matt Sullivan, also a free agent. Clark Lake's a big player. He's a free agent. His closer, maybe the best closer in the TBL. I mean, that year that he had this year was insane. Maybe the best year of any closer ever with his strikeouts. Anyways, he's a free agent. Greenwell's a free agent. 142 million committed to 27. There's going to be some tough decisions in Kansas City.
Yeah, I think it's important to note, though, everything is a little twisted when it comes to looking at Kansas City, right? The pitching is really good, and the offense isn't really good. But look at the ballpark; it's the most pitcher park we have probably in the TBL. Like the triples, it's like impossible to get a triple in this park. It's hard to get a double in this park. You know, the ballpark factors are ridiculously skewed towards pitching.
You can get a solo home run. And I think where's he at in home runs? I think he's got a lot of home runs here.
He's second in home runs.
Yeah, second in home runs. The park yields home runs. He has out-homered his opponent by about 29 home runs.
I'd love to see the home road splits on those numbers.
I'm sorry?
I would love to see the home road splits on those numbers. Like how many home runs are actually hit in Kansas City.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's not that even big of a home run park. Like, it's just over 1, and 1's average, right? Yeah. So, it's, it's interesting. I mean...
Well, I mean... There's a Sullivan. I'm not gonna get crazy about the sliders. His shortstop Sullivan has, or the bars I should say. His shortstop has a 45 power and hit 27 home runs. So if I'm looking at his specific splits, they're actually half and half. 13 at home, 14 on the road. It's kind of interesting. I don't know.
Yeah, that is notable. I mean, another guy I was looking at was Rick Slesser for them. He was a nice surprise coming out of AAA last year with a 102 OPS, and then just, went crazy this year for 38 homers, 138 OPS plus.
With 55 power, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, so something's going on. And maybe in the conference with some of the stadiums, but they're getting a lot of home run production out of guys who really don't show it within their basic batting ratings. Question for you, Reese. Why were you looking at Rick Slesser so much?
He was just kind of an outlier, I think, in some of the data in terms of like WAR versus how I value him essentially, and a lot of that, I mean, that's factored into defense too. But he was just something notable, especially after being a decent AAA player coming out and putting up those kind of numbers.
he was a 20th round pick of the OKC franchise in 2020. So that's why I asked. I don't know if you ever had if he just totally surprised you or,
you said 2020. That was right before my time, I think.
Oh, it was before your time. Yeah. All right. So, yeah. So that he was an OKC outlaw at one point.
Yeah, it looks like it's against Luster is a weird one. He hit 19 homers on the road and 19 homers at home. So who knows? Who knows how it all works in that sense? But another good defensive team as well to go with the pitching. I like this team to win the Fire Conference, which means they probably won't because, again, the Fire Conference is traditionally cursed when it comes to the number one seed. But, again, Virginia broke that a little bit last year, but we'll see if that maintains.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see how they manage the roster going into next year. They don't have any prospects that I'm seeing that are right on the bubble that will make a huge impact. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how they manage those contracts.
I think as long as the pitching's there, he's going to be good for a minute. Obviously, yes, losing like such a good defensive wizard like Sullivan will hurt if you can't re-sign him, and some of these other pieces. But
guys like Potter. Potter blew up, and he hasn't had a good postseason career at all. Let me see what it was, because I know he blew up last year. He blew up the year before. The guy's had 15 innings pitched, 14 appearances in the postseason, 6.60 ERA. He's given up 7 bombs, so 1 every 2 innings in the postseason. That's crazy.
I had a guy like this in another league I was in. He was like the most dominant reliever in league history, and then he just would blow the save in the postseason every single year. So.
Yeah.
Kind of funny. Doesn't have the clutch gene. Yeah, any other thoughts? Let's take a look at the system real quick.
The only one that pokes out for me is like Belanger, I guess. Looks pretty good. Salvador looks pretty good. On the pitching side, not seeing a lot.
Yeah, this is a shallow system for sure. Not a ton of top prospects. I mean, there's always diamonds in the rough in every system, but...
my scout has Johnny Estevez as his top prospect, even though he's 18 years old. Looks pretty all right, but anything can happen with 18-year-olds.
I think... my system weights it against. It's basically how far you are from being fully developed will hurt your score, basically. So I got him a little bit lower than that.
This is my scout, so Estevez and Bellinger look okay rating wise, but I was curious when I see these guys like decent ratings way down here, and like what they, not this guy, what they could become, but like I got Tim Liddick as a 65 overall, and he's not close to the top 500.
I got Liddick much higher up on their board. They're number 5 spec.
Yeah, I don't.
Are you talking about DSA?
Yeah, DSA.
Yeah. Yep.
Liddick is lower on the board probably because of his defense and lack of power. But Liddick is a classic guy who I think that potential is fool's gold, unless he becomes an elite bat on ball guy. Yeah.
This is like what I'm talking about with the way Andrew drafts, and he has like a lot of good defensive players. Like this guy might be sitting there as a 65, and he looks really shiny draft wise. Of course, if you're getting him in the 16th round, I'll take him. Which is what this guy was.
So I got him at I think 27th in terms of system right now, 29th in batting, 29th in pitching, and like I said, not too many guys I'm seeing that are ready to make an impact right away. Maybe they have some slightly older guys sitting in AAA that I'm not accounting for, but I think regardless, they got the staff to keep dominating. So
I think it's fair to say I was going to say I think it's fair to say the window is now for Kansas City.
Exactly. And he also finds insane value on the minor league free agent market. Garcia was a minor league free agent. Arturo Rivera was a minor league free agent he found in January of 2022. Matt Sullivan, minor league free agent signing. So it's almost like he's hitting everything pretty hard, and he just needs to, I guess, get another pop as far as the amateur draft's concerned for the future. But he's doing everything right to stock his team up.
Yeah, just bench Potter. Have all your starters go 10 innings, and I think you got a championship.
Yeah.
Alex, their center fielder Alex Rojo too, Rule 5, or waiver. I can't tell which one. Yeah, Rule 5 pick.
Looks like he is out, or he's only day today. He's minimal.
Yeah,
for a week.
I
So.
assume he might be playing, but
I do like to see the expansion teams doing well. So I'm definitely rooting for Brad here in the postseason. I feel like all 4 expansion teams are finally respectable enough where we might be ready to talk about expansion again, but we won't go there right now in the podcast.
You need to have like 6 GMs ready for that.
For when 2 of them bail
team.
midway through. Yeah, totally.
Had somebody quit during expansion draft last time.
Two
or
GMs.
something happened, right?
2 GMs, yeah. They were friends. They didn't like the fact that it wasn't done in game. I did it all on a spreadsheet out of game, and they just weren't very active enough to get it done. But I think if we had the right GMs come in and do it, it's a pretty cool experience. Anyways, any last thoughts on KC? We'll move on to this next team in Oklahoma City.
Yeah, I mean, it's them in New York as far as the best rotations. Looking at them for this year, they have, I give them the edge just because they've all performed very well.
Kilby's nuts. Like, he really is. I mean, what a breakout year for him this year, but he's been good. But this is like, I mean, it's insane the step up he took this year.
Yeah. Almost received the pitching triple crown, but he was injured in 25. You gotta wonder if he's one of those guys who can have a year where he throws a couple hundred innings and then the next year he's not too good. But yeah, gotta see how he progresses through his prime.
Yeah, I mean, that is a risk for him. He missed 6 weeks this season, so he only had 27 starts, which makes his numbers even more impressive, kind of. At least the strikeout total. But all right, let's take a look at Reese's team and the OKC Outlaws. And Reese, we'll let you start off here.
Yeah,
tell us about your team.
Yeah, so last year I think was a surprise for me to make it to the playoffs. I thought the rebuild had at least another year. Came in 2022. Re-signed Marlon to that big contract after right after his second back-to-back MVPs, and just made some good picks in the draft to kind of build around him a little bit. We had a couple prospects I liked, and then the 3 kind of pitchers that this team is basically built around are all coming into their own now. All of them 21, 22, 25 in Lee, Bickler, and Morales, and then Nothing crazy impressive on the lineup side. I think Marlon is still producing, but he's getting a little bit old. Yeah, just happy with how the young pitchers have been holding up. I think as long as they all stay healthy and keep developing like they should, I like the pitching side. Just got to keep finding the offense around them.
Yeah, I love Brian Lee. He looks like he's going to be really good. Obviously, it's still early in his career, and that control is definitely going to come in. But he looks like he could be, a face of the league if he continues to develop.
Yeah, starting to develop some injury concerns with him, so got to be a little careful. I wasn't sure if I should leave him up this year, but he kept producing at a good enough level. So
Bickler looks fantastic. This guy too. Obviously, he had a great season, but I fucking love a starting pitcher with the maxed out stamina, maxed out hold runners. Like, I think that's such an underrated thing.
Yeah, he's a huge surprise. Actually, I might have a fun matchup with Phoenix. 2 2022 picks in Travis Saduth and Adam Bickler. I think maybe going head to head. Saduth was a first rounder. Bickler was a 12th rounder.
Yeah, that's crazy. 12th round. We see a lot of pitchers come from the later rounds in this league, which is kind of cool, I think. And I don't know why, but a lot of studs like 10th round and on in the pitching staff. And we did talk about Brian Marlin before we started streaming this podcast, and how I thought it was a insane fucking contract. But at the same time, like, I said, I think he might be one of the more underrated players in TBL history if you just kind of look at what he's done in his career. 2 MVPs, 3 batting titles in a row, a couple 200 hit seasons. Like he's the real deal, and he's 30 years old, so he could still add to that what looks like it's going to be a Hall of Fame resume if he keeps going.
Like I said, I'm glad. Like I said earlier, I'm glad I'm giving him some playoff reps. I know when I came in, he had a couple years of insane production without the wins to go with it. So, yeah, we're just eating that contract for one more year after this, and then obviously a lot of capital opens up for us. So, be good to keep those pitchers around and try and find some more offense in the draft.
Yeah,
this is as well as you can build a team with a guy making $50 million because the rotation's cheaping. It's good. If you don't have to pay your rotation and they're producing like this, yeah, you can do pretty much whatever you want outside of that.
Yeah, looking at salaries, I mean, you have Marlin obviously locked up for a ton next year, and you've got Rodriguez on a contract, but outside of that, it's really an empty canvas for you to kind of build this team how you want the next few years, it looks like.
Yeah, I think the key is going to be finding some good offense. We found some cheap guys with. Fleshman's been good at first base for us. Cuffey's been developed beyond what I thought he would at second base. But yeah, just been a lot of platoon kind of guys working around in here.
Led the Fire Conference in home runs, so the power is part of the game for you this season. Taking a look at the system. Here's the OSA look. My scout, obviously. All head scouts don't look as sexy as OSA. OSA likes to pump those numbers up. But
there are a couple guys.
Medium
a couple guys
system.
A little more. Yeah, I think I have us pegged like middle of the pack. I think it's one of the older systems. There's a couple guys: Jason Tapley, Gabe Reed, Tyler Moore, Matt Matthews, who I think are all getting closer to being able to help out the big league roster. So yeah, that was more of an intentional focus though, with the young pitching coming up.
Yeah, that makes sense. It looks like you are like a year or two away on just a couple of these guys. Like we'll see them next year or the year after, for sure. So that's an interesting profile right here.
Yeah.
Strikes.
Only looking for that monster bat, that generational position player to complement these young starters.
Yeah, we've been searching for it. I don't think we have them in the system yet, but we'll keep looking.
Wow.
There's plenty of guys that'll take 2 full draft classes for a superstar, so if you want to make it happen. See Somerville.
Yeah.
Except for the opposite direction. You take them in. All right, yeah. Any last comments on the Outlaws? What are your thoughts on this postseason? How are you feeling about your first round matchup? Phoenix?
Really wish I had shored up the bullpen a little bit more going into it. Tried to make a couple moves at the deadline. Just didn't find a home for anything. So they've been good this year. Just don't really have that elite guy that a lot of these teams have.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting first round matchup for you. It's one of those rare matchups. Phoenix got the 2 seed in the Ruby Conference, so they won home field advantage in the wild card round, even though they finished 7 games worse than you did. So you're going to be on the road with the better record, so it's going to be a pretty even series, I think. All right.
Which one of these guys on the back end, Whitemore or Duenas, do you trust? And why is Duenas the closer? I mean, I see he's traditionally the closer, but they all seem very similar.
I pretty much targeted, I think, all of them within. I think they were all signings, very recent. It's not like new additions.
Yeah.
I think Duenas just earlier in the year was doing better, so I kept him in that closer role, and he's been. They've all been, respectable. So, again, just really missing that like late innings hammer,
Yeah.
Yeah, Moore's kind of interesting. He looks almost like a start. Well, he has a starting pitcher profile, but he's just got the bad stamina.
Yeah.
But
Danny White's got a 60 stamina and only 2 pitches.
Yeah, I went for the ground ballers with those two. I like our defense, so I went with a specific release profile.
yep, you've got a pretty standard park, so yeah. All right, let's take a look at our 4th playoff team from the Topaz, and it's the Milwaukee Mobsters. Ryan has got his team in the playoffs, I think, for the first time since he joined the league. They've been out of the playoffs since 2017. Ever since the previous GM, Bob, who was really dominant for a while, had a really nice run. And Ryan's done a pretty good job now trying to turn this team around. Kind of floundered in that 70 to 80 win range, and he, still kind of right there. But this team was good enough to get over the hump and get in. So, as we know with the Fire Conference, you get in and you have a chance. We've had some really shitty teams win championships on this side. So anything can happen. What do you guys think of this team?
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Thank you. The old Milwaukee teams, the good ones, were always pretty strong defensively. I'm seeing up the middle that they have decent defense. Except for center field.
Statistically, they're towards the bottom.
Yeah.
11th in efficiency, 12th
they're
in
towards the
zone
bottom.
rating.
I like their second, their keystone combination that's second and short. Center field, yeah, no. And yeah, on the corners they could do better. Both in the outfield, oh my goodness, and on the guy in right field. Oh no, he's all right. He's all right. But yeah, I mean, is it? I don't know if this is just a one-off year for them, or is this going to be something we're going to see from them going forward? Just being a consistent playoff team. I'm trying to find out. I'm searching hard to see where their strongest position group or whatever is, but it seems to be a team that's very, I don't want to call them mid, but I'm wondering if how they got the 85 wins.
He's got 3 corner outfielders. He doesn't have a real center fielder. You're spot on with that, right? He's got -10 zone rating from Hosey through 80 games, and then he played Novia there for half the season, and he had like -9 zone rating. So both guys really can't play that position very well. So maybe looking for a defensive center fielder, even if it sacrifices a bat, might be a good step for this team in the future, because I do think that's a liability.
I don't know if it's him just saying it in the chat, in the general chat, but yeah, this Riot's team's always has a bunch of injuries, and he's got some good young pitching that is either injured or just coming back.
Look at this list, yeah.
But yeah, not ready to pitch in this series. A lot of pitching, just on the IL.
Yeah, it's a tough injury list. I don't know if it's not like necessarily their top guys, which I think helps. But yeah, this team is a little confusing to me. I think you see like I get their FIP like FIP -6 in the league, and then that defense is just killing them in terms of like ERA and but a couple guys in their lineup I do like. Trevor Jordan, I think, has a bright future still.
Who we traded for this year. We were talking about that on the other podcast. That was that trade, the swap with Carolina.
It's a good move by them, I think, just because of the money. But I think Jordan can be as good as Ojeda. It just hasn't happened yet. So, I mean, Ojeda hasn't been great. So, I mean, it wasn't a horrible trade.
If you look at where this kind of, just looking at the ranks and not diving into the numbers, but if you look at where the ranks ended up for this pitching staff, like 8th in ERA, starter ERA, 4th in bullpen, 4th in FIP, 4th in pitcher WAR, 4th in strikeouts, that's pretty respectable for a team that was bottom, 25% in all the defensive categories.
Yeah.
So the pitching's almost persevered through bad defense.
Yeah. I think it's just a well balance. There's not, an ace or anything, but.
Well, his ace, I would argue, is out for 6 weeks, and he's he's a future ace. Carlos Figueroa does look good. I think this guy. Let's take a look at the injury history, see if it's a problem. It could be a problem. It could be a problem.
Yeah, he's missing the third pitch right now, but yeah, he could be. He could be good.
Yeah, yep. Something's going to come in. Maybe get him in the dev lab, strengthen him up a little bit. Who knows? Fourth overall pick in 2022.
Then he's got this guy Parmley who is wrecked. I mean, fragile, but he should be wrecked based on his injury list.
Oh my god! Yeah.
But
jeez, yeah, that's brutal. It's a lot of day to days, but there hasn't been a huge one.
You can't count on him for more than 90 innings a year.
Right. Might be a guy that shifts into the bullpen, because he's got 3 pitches, and if you're not throwing him out there for multiple innings or 200 innings every year, then maybe he can get a more longevity out of him.
You want to get those 60, 70 innings on your terms, not the injuries terms. So yeah, bullpen seems to be a good place for him.
Yeah. Back into the bullpen's got some pretty good ERAs. So it seems like when he gets deep into games, he's able to shut it down. I like to look at the parks because I kind of forget what everybody's got going on. But this is another park that keeps it in the park. Really hard to hit home runs as a righty here. And pretty much overall. Pretty big outfield, which hurts even more when you have a center fielder that's not like a pure center fielder.
Yeah, this played as a third worst offensive park in the TBL this year. Actually, Kansas City had the worst total offensive park, and then Milwaukee's third.
Yeah, we mentioned Kansas City is a pretty crazy pitcher's park, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this one's up there for sure. So, system, anything worth talking about?
They do have a couple pitchers coming up the pipeline. 2 guys I'm seeing that could be decent. Dusty Wasan. Let's see. I'll let him know if OSA's got him on there.
Let me change it to my scout. OSA loves this system. Let me see what my scout says.
I got him at like 17th.
I like this guy, Myra.
Yeah, he's the other guy on their pitchers. After that, I'm not seeing much. But Dusty Wasan, I don't see him on the OSA list at all. But he looks like a pretty good prospect.
Dusty, you said?
Dusty Wasan. WASS.
Yeah, it's not spelled like. I mean, it's.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, my scout likes him more than OSA does. One of those rare reversals.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, they got a couple younger guys, and then a couple guys OSA. Espinoza looks pretty good.
Espinosa's going to probably excite the fans more than anybody. A lot of versatility, even though he doesn't really play any position well. Good bat. At his age, doing what he's doing in AAA is pretty impressive. I would be careful because of the development risk. Bringing him up or doing, I mean, he's an unhappy player. He's angry. He's all types of stuff. He thinks he should be playing in the majors. This guy could be a tough cookie, but I don't know.
Another guy, Brocklebank, just great name there as well. Could help them defensively, not necessarily that much offensively. He's definitely lower on the OSA list, but
I like that though. I mean, I like this guy a lot more than some of his top 500 prospects. And I was about to comment, I feel like defense is not a focus here for Ryan in his system and what he's drafted. There's a lot of guys that look pretty mediocre in the field, which is going to limit, where they can fit into a major league roster.
You got to do something with Brocklebank. He's been in AAA for 3 years.
He's pretty unhappy.
He could probably play somewhere in a TBL.
Yeah.
And he's not too happy about it.
No, I would trade him if you're not going to call him up. Trade him. Like you mentioned, he's got a pretty good up the middle defense already. So, but maybe he's coming up as someone else who's about to hit free agency. I haven't looked at the whole picture. But no, yeah, I like this guy. Anything else on Milwaukee?
No, I just hopefully he stays healthier. This is, I just mentioned that the team, I don't know how it made it and whatever. A lot of good pitching, So I'm seeing it. I am seeing it. And if he stays healthy, he could move right up into that the top of the division and conference.
All right, moving on to Louisville and Chuck's squad, the Thoroughbreds. Chuck is a longtime GM. He's been here since, I think 2004, maybe longer. Maybe 2006. I think he won a championship his first year. That's how I always remember when he joined. And that was one of those magical run kind of championships. He would admit to the same thing. So he's been a pretty good GM. You can kind of see a lot of playoff appearances kind of scattered over the last decade. But what do we think of this version? We won't spend too much time on the non-playoff teams, but I think we should.
Yeah, I'm pretty familiar with this system and this team, I should say. There's a few teams that if I'm looking at for good pitching, their organization always produces it. Louisville organization does that. So, I'm not saying that you should go fleece Chuck, but I would trade for pitching out of his system, no problem, because I know he pays attention to it. If you look at his coaches in his system, you can see why. He's one of the guys who really pays attention to teaching people how to pitch. It's very important. The bars don't do everything. It's about how you deploy them. I was talking about a guy in the major leagues who my team, the Mets, just got. Luis Robert in center field, and I was explaining to somebody who actually plays OOTP. I'm like, yeah, he's got good bars, but the rest of his cards, dog shit. Personality, all that other stuff. So how you actually get guys to produce is important. I think the number one way to do it is just teach them how to do it well. And his pitching up and down the system is phenomenal.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Love the staff. Yeah, I see some good depth behind it. I do see some batters they got coming up too that I really like. But currently the lineup, leaves some desire out there. But yeah, like you said, pitching staff looks great. See some good prospects coming up too.
So I trust the pitchers to be good. It's looking at his staff now or his system as well. I'm seeing I have a lot of pieces that my scout likes. Like you said, not many bats, a lot of arms, and a lot of first basemen.
The one thing I hate in this game is the minor league system rankings button, because it's it's kind of cool, right? But it's just so inaccurate. It says he has the 28th best system because he has one top 100 prospect.
Yeah,
which is very inaccurate if you look at his actual team. Or his actual system.
I got him around 14 with his DSA. Pitching rank being at 11.
Yep. So.
What does DSA have him ranked on pitching?
11th, but that's also because he has a lot of young guys, undeveloped.
Gotcha. All right. I know Somerville's number one pitching in DSA. So I just want to bring that up and want to make sure we know.
No, gotta let people know.
We should talk about this guy, Jonathan Mendoza. He's a lefty on the staff, and I think he's the future ace. He's got good stamina to hold runners. He's got 4 good pitches, although the changeup's still coming in. He's got stuff, which I love.
They have 2 top 10 pitchers from my scouts over here, but I think Mendoza has a chance to be great. Both of them do, really.
Yeah.
Wallace
is already great. This guy's.
The control. The secondary, the tertiary pitches, how those fill in, that's what it comes down to for systems and franchises like Louisville. They're going to get this guy to probably fill those in. The control, I think Wallace has a sinker that's on its way.
Wallace is another fan of the back spasms. He likes to get back spasms.
Yeah.
So that's unfortunate. A lot of injuries. Again, maybe this is maybe a candidate for development. Try to get the stamina up, try to get the
weight up.
Yeah.
Size plays in this game.
Yep.
Size plays. 5'10", 180, 99, sits 99 with a fastball. I mean, the guy's probably, not gonna. I'm not gonna say he's not gonna have a long career, but you see it sometimes where guys that size just cannot throw 200 innings the way you want them to. It's just not gonna happen.
Yeah, he's got to lay off the drive line, hit the weight room a little bit.
Yeah. Somebody asked how to add weight. Adding weight is something that I'm hell bent on about pitchers, or being at the correct weight. It's something where you want to send this guy to strength and conditioning, whatever it is, the weightlifting, whatever that development lab is called. Get a couple pounds on this guy. At 200 pounds, everything's going to be different. Anybody who's maybe pitched, we talk about drop and drive, all that stuff. It's very important. Ground ball pitcher keeps the ball down. You want to, you don't want to have your front side flying out and just be, it's a little light.
Yep. Well, he was in the playoffs in 2025. He missed this year, even though he kind of finished pretty strong to the season. So I think if he gets healthy, he did have a couple serious injuries. If you look at Edwin Tellez, that's a pretty big injury. Not a great offensive player, but he's fast and he's great at defense. So I think he's definitely a missed piece. And who's the other guy? I saw someone else on here.
He's a pending free agent there too, so might just be.
I think Marvin Lewis as well. That's a tough one. I think that's his true closer, because Ed Pohl definitely didn't get the job done this year. Well, Ed Pohl's been the closer, but just wasn't very good this season.
Looking at Milwaukee and Louisville's pitching, young pitching, they're kind of sleeping giants if it all works out for them, because then you can maybe go to free agency, get the big bat or whatever, just to push yourself up into the top 2 or 3 of the Topaz.
Everybody's talking about how the Fire Conference has no offense. Maybe it's because all these fucking parks are pitchers' parks. Like, it's so hard to hit a home run in Louisville, according to the
all
factors.
Right.
To the factors.
I'm not gonna talk about the cavernous parks over in the ice. I'm playing in the largest park known to man. So yeah, whatever. Hit the baseball, run the bases.
All right, what do we think of Nashville and the Blues? Again, without going too deep into the bottom teams here. Nashville's a newer GM. I feel like been here a couple seasons. Would love to see Kevin in chat just a little bit more. But again, when you have a team that's not really competing, I can get the...
Chat's a great place to threaten those players, Take a page out of Steve's book and then, take your frustrations out on the players in our general chat. But the pitching staff in Nashville is a problem. This is like the opposite of all the other teams.
He seems to be pretty shitty team, pretty shitty historically team.
Line up here.
Yes. I don't know where this team ranks. It seems like this has been one of the better. Yeah, it has been one of the better teams over the last 5-6 years.
Historically, this has been the worst franchise with Boston. I think the worst Ice Conference or Fire Conference franchise. They've got 5 playoff appearances in 26 years.
How long has Kevin been the GM?
Not too long. I don't know when he started. We'd have to look. Let's take a look. So Kevin.
3 seasons.
Yeah, about 900 games. That's actually a pretty long time. What is that, like 5-6 seasons now?
No, yeah.
So he's been here. We'll go back to the team history page. Let's just kind of do the math here. So probably like maybe that first year they made the playoffs under him, 84 wins. So, I'm guessing maybe.
So Nashville is the, let's see, I think they're the least successful franchise, in the TBL.
Yeah, but surprisingly, market size, fan loyalty, fan interest, not as shitty as some teams we've seen, which is funny to me. Yeah.
Well, who's the best player in their history? I think they had a guy carry them for forever. When I talk about top 5 guys, I think one of the guys they've had is one of those guys.
see that? I don't remember.
Registers batting.
Thank you.
I could be wrong though. I think that's who carried them forever.
This is team.
It was like having Mike Trout.
Batters. Here we go. I feel like they haven't had anybody. I mean, they've had some big sluggers, but I don't feel like they've had anybody that's been amazing. Yeah, 28 WAR for Caristia. They've never had anybody. They've never had anybody that even has sniffed the Hall of Fame.
Really? That can't be true. Hold on a second. Nashville didn't have anybody.
No, this team's been pretty bad. Always. I mean, if you remember, I think it was Cody. I think that was his name. He ran this team for a really long time, like almost 20 seasons. He was like a hit or miss GM. He didn't always export. He traveled all the time. He was like a super busy guy. So the team got neglected, and he got neglected in big chunks of time.
He didn't have anybody.
So
Dave Morgan's the one Hall of Famer that's played for him.
I feel like you're thinking about St. Louis, because St. Louis has had some studs, and they haven't been a super successful team.
Maybe. Yeah.
But anyways, this team, nothing super special about them right now. Anybody do well this year? Worth highlighting?
Yeah, like Mark Cobb though, catcher. He looks like a stud. Lozano looks pretty good as well. They got a guy in AAA, Ponce de Leon, who looks like he could be really good, and a couple other guys behind that on the infield. On the pitching side, I'm not seeing much. OSA has some guys high, but I'm just not seeing it for him. The one guy that is 19th on OSA, Ronaldo Perez, 20-year-old lefty, pretty undeveloped, and he's already got injury problems. So nothing on the pitching side that I really like, but they do have some good hitters coming up.
I like his most recent draft pick here, Jose Medina. OSA likes him. OSA likes him. My scout doesn't. Never mind. Holy smokes.
Yeah, I got him around 500 right now.
That is a difference right there. That's crazy.
Yeah. I think they may have done something to the difference between scout ratings and the OSA during this version. I'm seeing huge differences on certain guys similar to Medina.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like Medina could live more up to the OSA though than to my scouts potential. I don't know. He
might find the midpoint. He might find the midpoint there. Yeah. Be a good pitcher.
Yeah, totally. I mean, he's got the
he's
got a great personality. He's got the stamina for runners. He's got 5 pitches. He could work out.
I'd put him in AAA, or wherever he's at. Where's he? AA. I'd see how many innings he can handle, and I would have no problem with this guy's arm falling off during the process, because I think he can just, if he succeeds, he's a junk ball guy who can go out there and give you a lot of innings.
I'm gonna disagree with you though, because we just kind of talked about this last night. This guy was drafted this season. He's gone through A+, and AA in one season. And his numbers have incrementally gotten worse at each level. So, I mean, I would keep him a bit lower.
It's not a good pick. I mean, whatever. It's not what you want out of your 12th, your number 1 pick.
Again, he came out in as the number 36 prospect. So, I don't know. Yeah. It's tough.
Off of OSA hype.
Yeah, fair.
Because the results don't show it. He gets hit hard, and he missed bats in high A. That's probably where he should have been left. But I don't. You gotta give this guy a lot of innings and see what the heck he turns into.
Yeah, he's just going too fast. He's just going too fast, in my opinion.
Yeah, volume's gonna be his thing. I think he's an innings eater at his best.
Yeah, which sometimes can be nice.
Yeah.
I mean, he plays in a division where we've seen there's a lot of pitching parks, so.
Yeah, the other guy, Ronaldo Perez, don't dislike him, but when you're fragile at 20 years old, I just don't see that panning out.
Yeah. Let's go back to that real quick.
Let's take a look.
Yeah, his number 19 prospect. Yeah, he's just
nasty. I love his stuff. I love a sidearm lefty that has nothing. He throws nothing straight, and he has a cutter, so he can get inside, get in the kitchen to righties.
Yeah, again, don't dislike the profile. Just he's underdeveloped. He needs to eat a lot of things to get there.
He's a side armor. That's always a red flag for me.
Yeah, you gotta have the cutter to be side armor for me, or some type of like dead fish change up or whatever that works against the other,
I do like that he's
the opposite side hitter.
Yep.
Yeah, interesting prospect rankings on these guys, because I don't think either is a top 200 prospect.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I got them pretty far, 500 and 900 on
Well,
those two.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
I'm gonna say this too. I'll point this out. Baseline's 10 million for the development budget. If you're putting 5 million into it, you're not competitive right now. So you better bump those budgets up and not be spending money elsewhere.
That's a problem for me. All right, because I know the Bank of Nashville has paid off Denver at one point. I'm going back to see if I can find the trade, but that's where it becomes unacceptable, competitive as far as competitively for me. That I think he traded Denver $30 million, not this year, but one of these years.
Well,
and
I'm actually going to say second red flag I'm seeing just looking at the contracts page. Like he's got a bunch of what I'm going to say are mediocre players locked up for 5-year contracts.
He's got basically 35-year-olds on the payroll in 4 years.
Yeah.
This team could be. This might be a sandbox team for Jay. He might be running this off of a burner account.
I think Kevin's gonna have to kind of take a look at his strategy here, because I do think he's like, what's the plan here? Like he's gonna be locked in. He's locked into his budget until 2029, 2030, right? So there's not gonna be any flexibility to do anything. He might have some young guys come up and support this core, but is this really a core you want to support?
I like looking at guys like Travis Berthume, who is a long-time, well-respected vet in this league. Milwaukee, New York, Durham, Montreal, OKC, Nashville. 5 years.
12 career WAR on Berthume. I know his name better than I should, I probably would say.
Yeah, I mean, he played on good teams, but the guy is just... It's a good litmus test. When you look at it, you can go to his morale, I guess. This guy is telling you, hey, this team's not good. You do something, get some of these guys out of here. Yeah. That's a guy who will tell you right away what's going on.
Yeah, he was
only guy like that on this team, I think.
I traded for him for the playoff push last year. I needed a lefty bat, and had no interest in re-signing him. So a little curious why we're signing 4-year contracts on that.
Yeah, looking at the chemistry here, this team's feuding. They hate each other. So
that's the number one fix I would make, is just figure that out. Then it'll all fix itself, as far as hopefully getting good picks, drafting well, and that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, they got the Muskin. I didn't see that payroll. They got a better catcher right now, 25-year-old, that they're gonna have to pay at some point, with a 32-year-old they're paying $26 million to.
Yep.
And a 25-year-old is not too happy either. He doesn't know why this is happening. He's not a good catcher, but he could hit. He could be a net positive just with his bat.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Maybe Kevin. Oh, go ahead. I was going to say, maybe Kevin proves me wrong with his strategy, but I think he's going to learn pretty quickly that he's put himself in a tough position. And if he does have any money, put it into that development budget, try to get these young guys to come up and try to unload some of these pieces if you can, and then try to get some shorter contracts. And when you're not in your competitive window, flip them to competitors and bring in draft picks and bring in prospects. Because that's really where this franchise is at. It's not in a win now mode.
Yeah, like I said, I do see some good hitters getting there in their system. So if you can do that in the next year or two, we could be singing a different song.
Yeah, they'll be in a window where he won't need to pay them. So that's good. But yeah. All right, Huron, Daniel. What are our thoughts here on the Huron Herons? They've been kind of in rebuild mode after a dominant run in this league.
Yeah. The pitching's not. The defense is good.
I'll just say
pitching seems okay.
I was going to say just real quickly for the historians out there, the people that are new, that are curious about the history of the league, our Rochester GM Michael took this team over as a fucking dumpster fire in the mid 2000s and turned it into a dynasty, and then got kind of ungraciously removed from the league. He stepped away amongst.
Let's come on, dude. We gotta
we won't hash this back up every single podcast, but he's a dangerous GM. He builds teams really well, and he created a monster here. And Daniel kind of took it towards the end of the magical run and hasn't been able to maintain that same kind of success so far.
Huron's been the most volatile franchise in TBL history because of its first two GMs. You told the story about one of them today. The first guy just drafted all prospects in the inaugural draft.
One of two teams to do that.
Yeah, and it worked out. But the great thing about that was that he wasn't able to trade him because he got kicked out of the league. And then the next guy did the same thing. And the next thing you know, you have a bunch of prospects sitting there, and they're actually well protected. Like, they didn't have any service time because nobody was able to make a move on them. And so Michael slid in there.
It was funny too. One thing we didn't really see, I didn't really understand when we did the inaugural draft. Like, your budget that first year was determined by like basically who you drafted. So Philly drafted all these like superstars, and he had like a $240 million budget. And I think Huron drafted all, like you said, prospects, and he had like a $70 million budget. And it all kind of evened out eventually as the media contracts kicked in. But it was a pretty big disparity at the beginning too.
I was in the same boat that he was after, which I didn't care about because my goal was to just build a system, coaching, whatever. He was fifth. He had he had a $150 million budget in that inaugural season. So that's for everybody who has 180, 190 who is up against it. In our inaugural season, we had teams at 150. I think Philly was at 270 for their budget.
Yeah, something ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, what do you think of Daniel's version here of the 2026 Herons? You said you liked some players on this team. We won't go too deep into it, but
Sanchez looks good.
They've got some good young pieces that I really like.
Talking about system-wise,
or in the lineup, I think Pineda, somebody. Yeah, I like Pineda there too. Garrett Roll from AAA looks like somebody that could probably use some reps.
Let's look at their system because there's not too much on a TBL team that drives me crazy. Let's see if they can return to prominence.
System's still strong, and Daniel does have an advantage where this team has 3 championships, right? So once he starts to win again, it's going to be really easy to build that budget back up.
Most dominant.
I think they have the second most championships outside of Denver.
Most dominant franchise outside of Las Vegas in league history.
Really?
Denver might be right near it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think Denver's right there.
I think the Hurons just beat up. I think they've had so many seasons above 110 wins or in that area against maybe worse competition that it makes it look like they're more dominant. But yeah.
We'll say I'm seeing a bunch of hitters in AAA that they got in AAA, AA, high A that all look pretty good. So I'm seeing a lot of depth on the batter side. Some younger pitchers, nobody that's I think is jumping out of me, but they got a nice list of guys ready to probably move up in the next year.
Yeah, I do like some of these guys. Danny Sanchez looks like a good defensive catcher who's on the edge. Their top prospect looks ready now. He could probably be. He should start next year. Vinny Aguilar.
Yeah,
I've got him at.
See who you had.
Ose's got him at 50, 70 right now.
Yeah, I don't have him as the top prospect. That's what I want to see.
Okay.
I got Mike Jordan.
Are you telling me that the prospect pipeline looks different for different GMs?
Well, you can switch it to your scout.
Oh, but it still ranks in the highest, right? Like maybe not the. I'm not talking about potential. I'm just talking about their ranking.
Yeah. The scout will change it around a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I like Mike Jordan a lot. He's 75 my scout. He's got great bars.
Yeah, he can't field a lick.
He often makes stupid mistakes.
Yeah, like I don't, I don't know how good this guy really is, but
He's a DH, future DH.
yeah, the bat seems insane.
Yeah. Yeah, if he goes to his potential, he'll be a great DH. But yeah, I mean the defense wasn't terrible this year, so I guess if your team's gonna suck, that's really what you got to focus on to kind of get through.
I mean, looking at, I got Danny Sanchez pretty high on their catcher they got coming up. He looks pretty much ready to go. Garrett Roll, Ken Hayes. He might be a little too old for the DSA methodology, but yeah, just I'm seeing a lot of like older depth. Just not as much on the pitching side. Chris Addy, I think OSA actually has him high. He looks pretty good.
I don't mind Sanchez being down. He needed the at bats.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you know, see how the season's going.
Yeah.
I don't hate stashing these guys in AAA for this year.
Yeah.
A lot of them are hitting 23, 24 though, so the time period's coming up.
Yep. No, I think he's kind of in one of those limbo situations. I feel like he's kind of a middle of the pack team right now.
I think there's one guy here, Jeff Wiest, who OSA is completely missing on. Wiest. Looks like a decent guy. He's
OSA hates him, yeah.
But
OSA hates him, but his statistics in the minor leagues have been really good.
yeah, he's been
And
putting up numbers this year.
My scout likes him a lot more than OSA.
Yeah, he's completely off their board, but I think he's somebody to keep an eye on.
Yeah, fair.
Where did he get him from? Somebody.
Minor league free agent signing. Let's see.
Oh, well, he released him and then re-signed him again.
Drafted by Huron, released, picked back up. Love it.
Damn it! I should have gotten this guy.
He threw a no-hitter in the minor leagues last year.
Yeah, he put like a 3-something WAR up and across 2 levels this year. Yeah, he's in the top 100 for me. OSA is messing on him for sure.
I'm not gonna call anybody a future ace, but this guy's got damn near everything.
I will say, Reese, you're convincing me more and more about your DSA list. You're catching some diamond in the roughs here on this podcast, which is nice.
Well, that's the thing for me is that I don't there's prospects I love. This is just like major league teams. There's prospects I like that I'll talk about or whoever will pump up. The prospects I love, I'll never say anything about. But DSA knows them.
I'm giving you some insider info here. I almost want to try and trade for some of these guys first.
Yeah, like that's what I was saying. Like the Yankees, it's like they'll talk about the guys they want to trade, but the guys they really want to keep, they'll never say a word about. And that's DSA is finding them.
So let's move on to St. Louis, the St. Louis Steam, and St. Louis was another team that had the same GM for 20-something plus years. George was a pretty consistent GM here. He was actually known, I picked on him every single podcast for never trading. He actually said he hated to trade and wanted to run with his guys. And I think he had like maybe 2 trades in like 20-something seasons, which is commendable. But
very
I think,
introverted.
I do feel like this is the team you were talking about that's had some superstars but not a lot of success. Because if you look at their list, they've got Danzig, Domini, McCarthy, who we just talked about being just miss for the Hall of Fame, but shockingly because of the way his career started. They've had some really great pieces.
Yeah, it probably is because Danzig was a beast. Similar to the other university MLB, where teams have guys like Trout and Ohtani and somehow don't get close to making the playoffs. Yeah. This is kind of the same story for the Steam.
Yep. The story I always like to tell about this franchise, for those listening for history, they were the first pick in the inaugural draft. And then we had a 2001 draft, and both of those were picked by random number generator, and he got first in both. And I think Jay wasn't in the league. Someone at the time pointed out the statistical probability of that, and it was well below 1% that had happened. So that was really cool. Just didn't turn into any sustained success. And looking at Danzig, let's find him real quick because he's worth looking at. I'm on pictures. Hold on. Hall of Famer, but he was a really sexy player.
You see those big home runs. A lot of people don't know, but I think it was 2003 to 7 or so, something like that. That was a dead ball era, just due to the way the league kind of I guess. Paul changed the settings or something.
I think, I think it was 2001 to 2004.
Yeah, something like that. But the guy hit through that era. When you see somebody hitting through
the dead ball era, and then it boosted.
Gotcha. So when you see guys hitting through that era, you know they were for real.
Yep.
Just looking at the OPS plus number there. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep,
he was jumping off the page for sure.
Let's talk about the current version of St. Louis. They obviously finished in last place this year. Really weren't very special in any category, except for they struck out a lot of guys, it looks like. Second in strikeouts in the Fire Conference, which is a good stat, I think. Strikeouts can be powerful. But what are your thoughts on this team?
I love James Domini. That's my guy. I like it when
future Hall of Famer,
it when a guy obviously is doing steroids.
Yeah.
Seriously, he went to the.
He was the 1-1 in 2013, so talking about luck again. Another 1-1.
In 2025, he outstandingly completed training to improve his strength and conditioning. And,
look at all the factors on this one. I think, home runs are a little inflated here for him, but...
He's a captain. He's wrecked, but he's been playing, the majority of his games outside
That's exactly
of
what I'm talking about. He's the old James Domini now. I mean, he doesn't play the field the same way, but he's a Hall of Famer. These last couple of years have kind of cemented him being a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I mean, he's still a 70-70, and he's 34 years old. He might be one of those special guys that plays until 38, 39,
Well, it's great. There's some things that you just got to do as a losing team. And run this guy out to shortstop. Who cares if he can't field the ground ball? Yeah. It's the greatest thing. There's a lot of bad teams in my life.
He's a terrible defensive.
That I've loved, and this is one of the reasons why. You throw an old guy out there hitting bombs, can't get the ball at first base. Who cares?
This guy put
switch hitting shortstop too. I mean,
I was gonna say this guy put up 4 WAR though, and he had a terrible defense. He could have been even better this year if he was playing, first base. Which it might be time. It might be time to move him to a different position.
No, just leave him there. There's a 10-year-old in the St. Louis area who thinks he's the greatest shortstop ever. He's going to talk about him for the rest of his life.
Let's talk. I mean, Domini was an elite shortstop at one point. Look at when he was 24 years old, he put up 18 zone rating. He's consistently been good until he hit about 30, and then it's been downhill from there. So I think it's time to train him in a new position. That's just my advice. I'm shocked that 86 walks led the league this year.
Yeah, pitchers weren't afraid of contact, once again.
Hernandez had a nice season, 5.4 WAR. He won the batting title, had the best OBP, 200 hits, 40 doubles. I mean, four red paint categories for Hernandez here. Just trying to look who led the league in WAR. Donaldson.
A whole segment on Bob Donaldson coming up.
I think this team, I'm surprised their offense is actually as bad as it is because I feel like they have some decent pieces offensively. But maybe I'm wrong.
It's a bad team. I think Domini is the only thing. Hernandez is nice. He's at the wrong position. He should be in left field. That's all I got to say about the major league.
This is what we mentioned yesterday. Bad defense to the point where he doesn't even get to the balls. He's third in errors because, literally, his fielders just can't get to the baseball.
James Dobby's just looking at the ball.
Yeah. It's like, oh, you hit it to me. Yeah. So, front office. Let's see the salaries here. He's got a couple guys locked up, rightfully so. Domini, Tapia's regressed. This guy was good for a while, consistent 4 WAR, but he's I don't know. He could bounce back. He had 4 WAR last year, 2 years ago.
He's got some room to work. He's already starting at 27 million budget space, so
Yeah.
Domney, if he retains half, so we're at a little under 20, $19.5 million. 1 year. If I'm a team somewhere that needs a DH, a little pot for a year, see if I can make that deal.
Yeah, another huge red flag though, similar to Nashville. $5 million in your development budget in your last place team, and you've got $27 million sitting there doing nothing. Money does not carry over in this league. If you don't spend it, it's literally worthless. So hopefully this next season, if you're looking, if you're not spending this in free agency, you're throwing it into these 2 budgets here, because it makes a huge difference, in my opinion, in what becomes of your future.
yeah, we got a couple of young lefties in the outfield, Justin Roosh and Willie Cuevas, who's in AAA right now, but 23-year-old lefties, both look like they could be decent outfielders. Outside of that, they got a couple top prospects, but they're sitting in international right now, so nobody coming for help soon.
My scout likes Aguilar here.
Jose
AAA.
Aguilar in AAA.
Yeah.
He looks really good.
Yeah.
Wow.
He loves chili dogs.
Aguilar, he's got to do something with Aguilar here, because
Oh my God, yeah.
yeah, there's
He's not ready. He's not ready. OSA has him at 30. This guy should not be on the team. It looks like he played 13 innings this year, so it's not like he really came up, but he's not even AAA ready. He should be put him back down in like A ball.
Well, looking at his actual current ratings, he should be in A or high A, which at 23, high A is not crazy at 23.
I don't know if anybody messes with this button here where it shows relative ratings to the league they're in. So you can see even in AAA, he's like overwhelmed right now. If you go down to AA,
no, it's not even close. It's not even close. This guy shouldn't be anywhere near
A+. You're starting to maybe be where he should be, but like A is really where he's like
A's good.
a talented player. So if anybody doesn't know about this button, it's really helpful when you're trying to figure out where to put a prospect.
I got another guy in AAA, Robbie Ayala. Looks pretty good too. He's a lefty. I don't know where OSA has him pegged, but just somebody to keep an eye on again.
My scout
looks
hates
like
his
he's
pitches.
missing a couple pitches on him, but
My scout hates him.
Yeah. Aguilar is really interesting to me. Wow. I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't want to say he's a ruined prospect, but
I mean, he could definitely dev down. He's got no development budget, and he's playing him above his level. So you only have a small amount of time to correct that, I think, before he takes a big hit.
Yeah.
But hopefully Aaron's listening to this, or listens to his team, and takes some of this advice. We always want to see these GMs at the bottom flip to the top.
Yeah,
Unless they're in my division.
See everybody. You want to have fun logging in. I want to see people having fun in the, in general chat, logging in, making trades. We're getting there.
Yep, we are. Yep. So, how long's Aaron been with us? A couple seasons. He's been a little quiet, but let's take a look.
Yeah, tough job to take over.
He's one of the newest. He's the third newest, fourth newest GM now that Dom's in the league. Why is the show? Oh, this isn't in the right order. Maybe it's not in any order. Weird. I guess it's not by any kind of order. He's been with us. Aaron's been with us for 1 year, so we can't give him any shit. This was actually his first season. That's why. That's why he's been so quiet.
yeah, he's finding his.
So he just got
his voice, but it wasn't his fault. This guy Aguilar being where he is.
No. He might not have even been. I forget when he actually joined. He might not have even set his budgets. He might have joined after that was done. So
I may be wrong on that actually. But
we'll see what Aaron does in the future.
We'll see what he does.
We will give him a chance to prove he's not the 8th best team in the Topaz. So, all right, that's the end of the division. On to the Ruby, I suppose. Do you guys need a quick break, or what are you feeling?
I'm fine. Whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm actually going to get a drink, so maybe like 2 minutes, then let's switch over.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right.
Sounds good.
All right, on to the Ruby Conference. And back at the top of the Ruby, a familiar face, the San Antonio Chili Picantes. And Daryl's team. Daryl was the TBL champion 2 years ago. And he's been pretty consistently towards the top of the division. Actually, this is only his third division crown. I thought it was more than that. Bighorn has been kind of dominant as well over the last few years. But yeah, he's been a consistently strong GM since 2017. And kind of emerged from what was a clusterfuck of teams this season. Everybody was kind of, I think at some point in like August, everybody was in 4 or 5 teams were within 2 games. And I think like 7 of the 8 teams were within 5 games of the division lead. And then they pulled away late. Just kind of looking at their team stats here. A really great September, 17-9, and then 5-1 in October. So this team's coming into the postseason really hot at 22-10 over their last 32. Thoughts on the Chilis Picantes?
It's a team that likes to try to put you away early and with offense.
Yes.
And
offense. Something we don't talk about in the Fire as much.
Get ahead and hopefully stay ahead.
Yep. First in runs scored, second in average, first in WAR, first and second in most offensive categories. Biggest red flag here is maybe the defense and maybe the bullpen. Kuro Iwa is definitely one of my favorite players that's coming in the league. He was one of those international signings, but he came in, 26 years old. Put up, he's kind of like outside of the 2 guys in Rochester, he's definitely like the fastest guy in the league.
I got you going in and out with the volume here.
Me?
Yeah, losing a little bit.
Oh, okay. Let's see if I can.
I heard you talk about Karawa, whatever his name is, but that was it. A little bit of it.
Oh, I was just saying. I think he's the fastest guy in the league outside of. Oh, I do see my mic's fucking up. Well, you guys can talk about San Antonio, and I'll work on this.
Let's see. We were talking about Kuriowa, who is not maybe the best base running guy in the league as far as just the ability to run the bases.
Loving those doubles numbers and the stolen bases. I'm hating the batting average, but yeah, I can see the value as a leadoff.
Well, just looking at,
yeah,
he's taking a huge step back this year. Looking at his WAR, he put up 4.7, 6.1, just 0.1 WAR this year, so he wasn't very good at all.
International guys tend to do this.
Yeah, man, it's not a contract to complain about, though. I think you've gotten a ton of value out of him. Yeah, the guy that I'm stuck on is Bob Donaldson, though. For them, just insane jump in production. This year went from, I think his max before this year was 12 homers as a rookie, hit 22 this year in a not home run friendly park. So just
wow.
Yeah, just a crazy
late is that?
No idea where that came from. He was a statistical outlier in the model. I see the value, and then the base running, the speed, the defensive value, but at the plate just really came out of nowhere.
He devved up like crazy, which is interesting.
Another one of these guys that doesn't have a huge power rating, but 22 home runs.
Yeah, split home and away too, 11-11.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of that. That's kind of weird. I don't know if I like that. Something funky with the engine, I think. I mean, noticing kind of the opposite with, we were just talking about Kuro Iwa. This guy was a 30 home run guy the last 2 years. He hit 9 home runs this year.
Yeah. Interesting. I'm trying to figure out what type of league conditions could lead to this. There's not many that I can think of.
I can't think of anything that would explain a much lower power guy basically 200xing or 200% increasing production versus a guy going from 30 plus to 9 homers in the same ballpark. Just sometimes that's why we love baseball, just the statistical.
Yeah.
I think
I
it's
see it in real life
probably
all the time.
it's probably just because the Ruby division is so talented that it's making him shine. No, I don't know. Pitching's been good. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. I was gonna say I really like the pitching staff. Bullpen's been a problem, obviously, just looking at the base numbers. But I think top to bottom, I like this staff. I would put San Antonio as probably the most dangerous team in the playoffs right now. Just with that, obviously, the offensive production, like you said, getting up early, and then they do have the pitching, maybe not the bullpen to back it up. So,
Yeah,
I'd put them as odds-on favorite to be in the championship.
Yeah, I've got them up there. I think you're right. The pitching's good enough to get by, and the hitting's better than what we've seen from a lot of the Topaz teams.
yeah, they're guys that they want to rely on in the bullpen. 3 of them specifically. Felon, Alvarez, and Hicks are getting torched. So, yeah, this guy Felon has been, I don't know if anybody listens to shutdowns and meltdowns, but he has 26 shutdowns, 22 meltdowns. That's a crazy number. That means that anytime this guy gets in the game, something either tremendously good or absolutely horrible happens.
He's a coin flip reliever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, I really love this roster. I think the scariest thing about San Antonio is that they have a really strong system behind it too. Like I could see them easily going a long way this year and then backing it up too. I don't think they have a lot of guys pending free agency either, and have a decently young squad. Definitely a scary team.
He never has any. This is a guy who loves 1 and 2 year deals, big AAVs.
Yeah. Feels like he rebuilds every single year, and sometimes with the same pieces that he had. Like he'll re-sign them, but
there's enough free agents towards the end of the off season and in the spring training where you can do that, and strictly with position players, and get good value. So he consistently signs these guys to these 1 and 2 year deals, and seems to be working.
Yeah, I mean I think the core of their team, the guys I see, Lamb out the door probably isn't a deal breaker considering he's wrecked. I think top to bottom pretty good. I mean, defense could use some work, but they have some guys in the pipes too that look really good.
For all the chatter about injuries in this league too, he's got the cleanest injury page. Like nobody's hurt.
Kind of crazy.
Strain, yeah.
Well, nobody's hurt, but I'm noticing in the minor leagues, nobody goes to the DL. So that's part of it too.
Yeah. Well, that could, I don't know. Are you saying that like off of what you see now, or off of like?
No, off of what I'm just taking a couple looks at. I'm wondering why he has no minor leaguers.
I've pulled exports for the playoffs, so he's probably moved all. I mean, all the minor leagues have ended, so he's probably moved them back onto rosters.
Well, maybe. No, I'm. Well, what do I have? I don't have. So I have the standard file, and I'm still seeing it. Where if guys get injured in the minors, he may not be moving them to. I'm just wondering why he has no guys.
Well, I was gonna say I just pulled exports and like it wouldn't let me export without the warning that said like this guy's on the minor league and he shouldn't be anymore. So I just like put them all back on rosters.
Yeah.
I will say he only has pretty much one guy per minor league team that's worth
Yeah.
being put on the IL anyway. So I don't know what voodoo magic they got going in San Antonio, but it's working.
It's all that spicy food.
I guess could all learn something. Yeah, I mean, they have 3 pitchers in their minors that I'm like huge. I mean, my number 1 prospect, Angel Perez, international guy, so he's not there yet. But yeah, I think top to bottom, this is a pretty well put together organization. And like I said, I think the bats in the playoffs could be scary, as long as the bullpen holds up.
Well, he didn't get the first round bye, but he plays me in the first round, so he basically did. Because we're gonna look at my team in a second. So yeah, no, I think he could make a run again this year. He's been deep in the playoffs quite a few years. I forget what happened last year actually, but I know he's been to quite a few conference championships when he's not in the championship or winning the championship.
In the conference, it's Virginia, Kansas City, and San Antonio, and then everybody else. So
yeah, 100%
over the last couple of years, and he's doesn't look like he's going anywhere. He's got a guy I like in the minors, Gabriel Carano, who he's only an A-ball, but it looks like he's going to be a good bat for him, and also will tear apart his locker room, something I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, I got him in the top 100 here. I got Racino's just a little bit ahead of him in terms of his bats. And then on the pitching side, I mean, Perez, he's my number 1 guy. I think for a 17-year-old to already be where he's at, I think is pretty impressive. Obviously, there's some risk with those guys, but
I mean, he hasn't thrown a pitch in the minors yet, so verdict out.
Yeah, again. The other one's Starzik. I think he's one of those changeup guys, though, so he needs that third pitch. But high work ethic, high intelligence, really like him.
I would have put Angel Perez in my rookie system, my rookie league team.
Yeah.
Just because it looks like his control, stuff movement, etc. are kind of, they're developed a little bit for a 17-year-old, and he doesn't have that extreme development risk that so many of these high-level IAFAs have. He's at medium.
Yeah, that's
$12 million bonus. Jeez.
Yeah. Also, just a great nickname. So I think you gotta get him going in the locker room. And
yeah, I'll give him like 10 innings in rookie ball just to see, get him good IQ. I have a good pitching coach down there. I'd want him to get with my pitching coach.
Yeah. So yeah, big fan of him. I think Starzik is a more developed version of him. Again, he's a changeup. He needs that third pitch. So, but he's got the intangibles for it. And
yeah,
really great nickname.
And he's been winning, and he's a guy that keeps his budgets up. So it just kind of shows difference in strategy in against some of these teams that aren't doing good. Even the teams that are doing good, they're still investing $30 to $40 million in their development and scouting. So really scraping the bottom of the barrel with those budgets.
Yeah.
I guess I'm being repetitive, but don't do it.
I mean, yeah, it's impressive for them. I think I'm like 17th in payroll, something like that this year. Yeah, he's.
I'm lost here.
Yeah, he's put together a good organization right now. So definitely not someone I would want to see in the playoffs. Sorry, Paul, but.
Oh no, he's eliminated me several times. So I'd actually like to look at the history. I feel like I've been knocked out a couple times by him. All right, let's look at the next team here. Just barely over 500, but good enough for second place in the Ruby. It's the Phoenix Firebirds, 85-77 this year in the playoffs for the first time in a while. And Brendan is an OG GM, so I'm always rooting for him to have a good year, and he's back. Only his second appearance since 2005. He was actually in the championship early. Like when the league first started, he was the Fire Conference representative, and he wasn't afraid to trade every single asset he had to be competitive. And we've seen that kind of run back again this year. He traded away so many things, but it worked out. He's in the playoffs.
Yeah. In that division, you can just wake up and do that. You can actually just add some players.
Yep. I mean, we've seen Ruby champions who've done that. San Diego has a ring because of his aggressive trade style when he's in a competitive window. Phoenix came close, but again hasn't won a championship. But he made the push for it this year, and he got there. We've seen it. We've seen years where he's made that push and missed, and that is so painful when you trade away assets and then still don't make the playoffs. So happy to see him in the postseason.
Yeah, I made.
Go ahead.
No, yeah, I made a trade with him before the season for a huge amount of his bullpen, a good amount of a couple guys in his bullpen there. I think he actually sent 3 guys. He signed another guy, and I'm happy to see that some of my guys are leading the charge here in that bullpen. And it's my favorite. This is my favorite team outside of my own going into the playoffs.
I think for him, it was the Sadu's coming up this year and being impactful was really the game changer. Big fan of his profile.
Yeah, maybe the first ever successful first round pick for Phoenix. This guy was a 113, and he does look like he could maybe anchor this rotation a little bit moving forward. He only has the 3 pitches, and that cutter needs to come in. But yeah.
Yeah, I think Taylor probably needed a little help in that staff. It seems like he's the answer to that. Yeah,
that's great. So Taylor was one of the trades this year, right? That's one of the big moves he made, bringing him over. Former pitcher of the year from a competitive Rochester team. So we talk about GMs that are constantly flipping. Rochester is a 90-win team, and he's not afraid to ship away a former pitcher of the year mid-season. Pretty ballsy move, and we'll see if it'll work out for both teams.
Yeah, I think McIntosh forced him to kind of move Taylor because probably McIntosh is making $1 billion in Rochester. You can't re-sign Mike Taylor now.
McIntosh probably went right up to Taylor and said, "I'm the fucking captain." And Taylor was out.
And that whole leader captain shit that Mike Taylor had going on had nothing. Had nothing for when that guy walked in. When McIntosh walked into the locker room. So Aubrey Santamaro also one of the better closers in league history.
And that was a pull-in this season as well at the trade deadline from a division rival who missed the playoffs by 1 game.
The team is good enough. I'd like to see how much he puts on Mike Taylor's plate in the postseason, because I think a lot of the 85 and 77 doesn't represent the amount of talent that he's ended the year with. I think this is a very good team.
Well, let's look at the red flag. I mean, the pitching hasn't been great, and it's because of the defense. The defense is terrible. There's no focus on defense in Phoenix.
That is true.
Yeah, I mean, and the staff itself is a little top heavy. That being said, not excited to be facing them. I think if they get the pitching that they could get, and
yeah,
I mean they got just a pretty deep or at least like balanced lineup. So not something I'm like not the team I'm looking forward to playing. I think they could be a little dangerous.
Yeah, I considered it it would be a toss-up, I would think. I guess you have home field, right? No, he has home field, so that might even further it, because your OKC team has been a little better throughout the season, but he has those extra games at home.
Yeah.
He does have 2 really serious injuries. One was suffered like really late, I think, like on the last game of the year, maybe even Lindquist. No, in September. But 2 of his main outfielders are out.
I think Bautista's been out all year.
Yeah, you're right.
Lindquist
he's been missing.
Help him out. He had Lindquist in center the whole year,
Yeah.
which
Not a center
wasn't a
fielder.
good-
Nope.
yeah, not center fielder.
Nope. So yeah, who do you replace him with? Probably a better center fielder, candidly.
Yeah, to be
So, not by much, but
barely, but kinda.
yeah.
Brad Batista.
Contracts, nothing too dangerous here. Jewel, we didn't even look at this guy, but he's the only guy that's really locked up. Jewel and Allen are both locked up.
He's just coming off injury. Jewel is. I'm curious if he's gonna slot in.
I don't hate this profile, but I do hate the fact that he's wrecked and that he's getting paid for 5 years. Like, why give a guy that's always injured a long-term contract? It doesn't make a lot of sense to me, because you're not going to get 4 years out of this guy.
And whenever I see the contracts like this, I'm not going to call the GM desperate, but it seems like it's very close to what the guy suggests he should make. Yeah, you got to negotiate down the years on guys that are wrecked.
Yep. You see a lot of those guys still sitting there on opening day, and for half the price. So, so to make a move on a wrecked guy in January, it's just not necessary, and especially for that many years. Offer him 2 years if you want to give him a multi-year contract.
I doubt somebody else was offering that many years.
No.
To Jewel.
Yeah.
Once again, another guy, 5'10", 160. This is what happens.
This one I don't hate as much. I mean, this guy doesn't look like Josh Michael doesn't look like anything special. But he gave him a couple years, and I think that's more of an affordable contract for a dude like this. Outside of the age, again, that's kind of concerning. Pitchers in this league at 30, you start to worry a little bit. But prospects, should we even look? Are there any?
I got Joey Reek. Looks all right. Walt Gill.
I like Walt Gill. Joey Reek.
I got Walt Gill in the top 50, actually. I think I'm a big fan on him.
Yeah, Joey Reek doesn't look anything special to me, especially with that personality. Gets it, but if he doesn't do it, he forgets it. My scout kind of likes Clint Travis. He's got 5 pitches. But yeah.
Just not love the fragile on him. I think he gets knocked into my model for that one.
Any last thoughts on Phoenix?
Not really. This is a big series for them, just for their fans. You got to start snapping off a series win here or there, and it'll keep them engaged. Hopefully next year you come back, you have equally as successful of a year, and then you build from it. So that's where they're at there in Phoenix.
He sold out the last month of the season, or a month or two of the season. So the fans got excited after that trade deadline. So that definitely gave him some revenue going into next year, which is nice. He's another team that doesn't put anything into development, so I'd like to see him at least get up to the 10 million baseline.
Great increases in season tickets, attendance, revenue. That's the fan loyalty may increase if you keep the players from this team. This is one of those situations where you gotta make sure that if there's a guy who is producing and he's extremely popular locally, all that stuff, that you keep him for the fans.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm excited for the pitching matchups in this one. I think Saduth and then Taylor against a couple of my young guys should be kind of fun. But I'm expecting it to be pretty tight. I think I got his roster having a slight edge on mine, so we'll see.
Yeah.
I think another reason just for him to boost that development budget a little bit. I mean, all his minor league teams had winning records this year, so he's clearly doing something right in the minors.
Yeah.
So just give them a chance, throw a little more money at them so that they can turn into some future TBL pieces.
Yeah, more money in the dev budget. Keep some guys. Don't force some of these young guys into TBL roles too quick, and everything will start snowballing.
All right, moving on to the third playoff team, sneaking in again at 82-80. Freaking love it. The Oahu Paddlers. If you remember, I was in the conference championship game 2 seasons ago, and I was up in that series. That was with an 83 win team. So I was up in that series I think 3-2, and then maybe lost the last 2, and I think I was even up in game 7. In the 7th or 8th inning, and then San Antonio beat me. Fire Conference, you get in and anybody has a chance, and that's my mantra for hopefully this postseason. I'm really carried by Digio Marinelli. I thought he was just going to be an average first baseman piece, but he's been pretty good for me, career-wise.
Looks like he's carrying the offense and the locker room right now.
Yeah, for sure. He's kind of the heart of the team at this moment because my future Hall of Famer, Israel Esparza, is no longer what he once was. He's still producing a little bit, but I mean he's more of a liability at this point than anything. But never gonna get rid of this guy. He's a paddler for life.
Yeah, because you're paying him 3 more years. Give him a choice.
2 more years. 2 more years. But it's a contract that gets cheaper as we go. So I'll have some room. And Bobby Ola is the other guy that's been on this team for a long time, and he's kind of a fringe Hall of Famer. I don't think he's there yet, but he does some things that nobody else really does in this league, and I love him for that. He's got a lot of red paint. Led the league in steals, walks, on base percentage, runs, hits, triples. He's had a good career. So I think he's 3rd all time in steals right now. That's 650.
Where's he at in doubles? Looks like he's been putting out
question.
Numbers.
Yeah, 400 doubles for his career. Just take a look real quick. 591 is the leader. The anonymous Joe Smith. Hopefully someday he'll make the Hall of Fame.
He's further down on that list than I thought he'd be.
Yeah. Yep. Top 30, but yeah. So that's that half of the ball. The other half is really just a bunch of journeymen. I don't really have anybody I've built this team around on the pitching staff. Danny Stanescu is not bad. He's still on that rookie contract on the back end, but no one super impressive. Pablo Pena was supposed to be the next big thing, and maybe I rushed him. He definitely didn't develop. He's injury prone. I think that was part of the problem. I don't think he's going to be anything special, but at one point he was the 5th ranked prospect in the TBL, and it just didn't work out. But 4 sexy pitches, it's not all put together, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think top to bottom.
I don't feel like I rushed him. He had decent numbers, but
good defense.
Sorry. Yeah. No, yeah, you're right. I mean, the offense on my team not great, pretty bottom of the barrel. The pitching is average. The defense is really the only reason I made the postseason as a 500 team, I think. So we don't have to talk too much about my team.
We can because we're letting you speak about this. Free Bobby Ola. That's all I gotta say.
Who wants him? He's a first baseman. That doesn't have
it's
power.
Tough. It makes a lot of money.
And I do like the idea of you just dragging him to the Hall of Fame. Just keep running him out.
Yeah.
I mean, he might make it.
Well, there are
I'm probably not going to be signed.
Fred. He's in the Fred Cox area of, I think, the Hall of Very Good right now. That's who I compare him to.
We can look. You can see the comparable players list: Zach Fast, Carlos Castro.
Yeah, not even. Yeah, that's off the top of the head. That's who I compare him to, is Fred Cox. Are you going to re-sign him? What's going on there?
I mean, I don't know what he's asking. Honestly, I haven't looked yet.
You don't know what he's asking? On the stream right now, go click that button that says, there we go.
All right. That's all right. I mean, I'm not going to give him a 5-year contract, that crazy son of a bitch.
He wants to go to free agency.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
13 million's not bad, though. I'd give him that for like a year more. So
Yeah.
Has a commission offer above a budget? What?
Wait, what?
Sorry, I'm just reading the screen.
Oh, well, yeah, I'm in commission mode and not in my account right now. So
yeah, that's interesting. But yeah, no, he wants to go to free agency. All right.
2 with a team option at best, maybe 1. Yeah.
I'm hoping I can ride these Flames into the postseason. That's all. Micah Newkirk's hot right now. Yay. Mike Long I picked up in the middle of the season, just because again I've kind of stressed this and picked on other teams for having a shitty center fielder. This dude can't hit a lick, but he plays a really great center field, and that's the only reason he's here. And I picked him up because my center fielder was a liability. So.
Yeah, the one thing league-wide is huge outfields. So center fields, it's big.
Yeah.
You can have a guy out there all glove, little bat.
I haven't offered Marinelli an extension yet. I don't know what he wants. We can see on stream right now. Might as well. Yeah, 23 million. I don't know if I want to pay that either, candidly. So
fans are getting angry.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I might be going into my rebuild phase. I feel like I've been like leaning towards the rebuild for several years now, and I keep sneaking by with these like teams that are just good enough to be in contention. So it's been a weird place to be in, but I don't know if I'll probably sign Marinelli 2 more years so that
You have to sign Marinelli.
Yeah, I probably will, just so he like ends his career with Esparza. Maybe I'll do the same thing with Ola, and then I'm looking to hit reset in 2020.
Huge in the locker room, plays every game, extremely popular. Yeah, you can get him lower than whatever he is asking,
Durable.
Obviously.
It looks, just looking at the history page, it looks like you've been fighting tooth and nail to just crack the playoffs and fighting that rebuild for what, 4 years now?
For sure. Yeah, no, probably like 2020 is when I should have torn this thing down, so like probably even longer than that.
Yeah,
it's
2022. That's pretty good.
wins. Yeah, and then I don't hate the system behind it. I think you're probably 1 draft away from being a top 10 system, top 5. I think OSA has got you a little higher than I would give you credit for, but that's driven by the number 1 prospect, which I am not as high on.
Yeah, a couple of people have said that. Yeah, we'll see how he plays out. I mean, second base isn't a hard position to be good at. So, yeah, no, I don't hate my system. For a team that hasn't really torn anything down, I think I'm pretty deep, candidly. I think I've drafted really well. Nick Nunez is right on the cusp. I've thought about bringing him up, actually, at the end of the year. But I just decided to keep him down. He'll probably be my starting first baseman when I get rid of Babiola, or a DH next year. And I had one other. I've got a couple of relievers that are like right there. I've got a lot of guys in AAA. So.
Yeah, I see some like Nunez, Petro.
Mofat's actually going to be on the playoff roster. He hasn't pitched a single inning in the major leagues, but my bullpen's pretty shallow, so I threw him on there. So he's going to get his first action here in the playoffs.
He's a very rare reliever cracking the DSA top 50. Yeah, like those numbers.
Nice.
Perez pretty high up there for me as well. Nunez, big fan on him. Pretty sure he was, big fan on Nunez. Maybe less so the personality, but I think he's in the top 10. Yeah, he's number 7 on the DSA list right now.
Yeah. So.
If there's anyone else that
Jordan Apsey looks
Number
pretty
7.
good, at least by my scout. Again, I've got some good relievers. I don't really know how I ended up with some of these guys.
Yeah, this is the most reliever-heavy pitcher prospect list I think I've seen on my thing.
I went pretty early in the draft for some of these relievers. Like this was a 7th round pick for a relief pitcher. I don't know where I got Mof at. Let's see. Yeah, 26th round, so just a luck of the draw on that one, but yeah.
See where Somerville is in that reliever list, but whatever.
Well, I'm coming for San Antonio. I hope I knock him off.
Yeah. It's a good. That's one of the better systems in the Fire, honestly, as far as just having usable pieces that you can kind of project to roles on the TBL level.
Yep. All right, let's keep chugging along here, and really 4 games separated 3 through 7 here. It was pretty even. Bighorn freaking swept me like the series right before the last series. So like with 6 games left, they swept me, and then they won 2 out of 3. They almost forced a tiebreaker, but luckily I had like a 9th inning comeback against San Antonio. I think in game 162. This is a team that traded away their closer, and I think he's okay with that. I think he, unlike me, who like kind of just holds on at 500. I think he's happy to rebuild when his team's not dominant, because he's been dominant for a while. Let's take a look at this team's history real quick.
It doesn't look like their bullpen suffered too much from that.
They're one of the few teams that have actually, I think there's only 2 or 3 teams in the TBL that have won 3 straight division titles, and they did that from 23 to 25. So he's coming off a really dominant run and finally took a step back this season, and still almost something.
I will say, if you're a fan of the Pythagorean numbers, he was six wins under, which was the highest in that conference.
Yeah, so you could say that he should be here. But thoughts on this team? Anything?
Yeah, his lineup killed him across the board. So I'm just looking at the WPA win percentage, win probability added, and there's some guys, I don't know if it's because of the way the lineup's constructed, but a Di Lorenzo, a Gonzalez, a David Bostic, those guys are just killing rallies, doing something to not allow this lineup to survive. I'm pretty sure that he lost because of his clutch ability.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I think the production didn't match the talent. Like I have this as top 15 lineup, and the OPS plus 24th. Like just, yeah, a little bit of a question mark on what went wrong there with the pieces in there.
I do feel like he traded away pieces at the deadline, so I think he's committed to maybe going into a rebuild. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but
at Di Lorenzo now. Di Lorenzo had a 550 OPS in 25, and it fell more than 100 points. You can't have that. You can't have a guy with a 434 OPS over 300 plate appearances.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the lineup itself, it looks like it just he never found the right mix of guys.
Couple of guys I love in there. Danny Hess.
Even his best hitter, Castillo, is a guy who he has to do it all by himself. When he doesn't do it, he doesn't pass the baton. He strikes out a lot, 219 times to lead the conference.
Yeah.
Yeah, yep. Honestly, kind of a question mark on this one. I like their staff too. I mean, they were second in the league in FIP minus. Like,
yeah,
first in pitcher WAR, first in bullpen ERA, first in FIP.
I mean, defense hurt them a little bit, but like the FIP minus at second in the league, ERA plus at 9th. Like that's not a huge gap between those two numbers. It feels like just the lineup, something was just missing. Yeah.
Yeah, yep. This style of baseball, you got to steal bases. You got to get productive outs. The productive out is almost like a clutch hit when the ball in play is nerfed. So this is a prime example of what happens when you just don't have a lineup that can string things together.
He didn't use much of his budget this year, unless maybe some of that's product of trading away pieces at the deadline, actually. But he carried over a lot of money into the offseason. He's got an $87 million payroll, which is pretty low.
Yeah, I'd also say he's got some guys in AAA that I really like. So I fully expect them to be right back in contention next year. I mean, maybe put them at second behind San Antonio. Hunter Christie, somebody up there. Dan Quirk is in Single A. He's a couple years away.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bill Raymond in AAA looks like
a lot of unused funds. This is a team that has that low of a payroll with a over $200 million budget, and I don't know.
Well, I think
fans of
I forget who
Bighorn.
I forget who he traded besides Santamoro, but I think Santamoro was like some money off the books, right?
Yeah, but it doesn't matter.
For payroll?
He could have paid Santamoro.
Oh no, I'm just saying that's why it looks like he has so much open payroll. Like 18 million shifted over to Denver. To Phoenix. I forget he traded like a starter away too. I feel like I'm not going to go back and look at the trade log right now, but when you
would have kept Santamoro.
When you talk about carrying the Fire Conference though in Kansas City, Virginia, San Antonio, Bighorn's right there too. They've been
Bighorn's right there. Yeah,
really really good. Yeah. How far did they? They never got. I think they got a couple championship games. Yeah. Lost in 2022 to that first of 4 appearances by Denver, and they were in 2012 as well. And Johnny's been here for both of those, so he's had his peaks and his valleys. But all right, let's talk about the Seals. Let's get through these next 4 teams in the next 15 minutes here and wrap this
let's
thing
get through
up.
the Seals. Let's get through the Seals real quick.
Yeah, we don't really need to talk about the Seals. So. For those who don't know, the Seals, Alex is my brother, so little brotherly love, hate between us here in the league. Love outside the league, hate inside the league, I like to think. Both of us are competing for that second championship so that we can just destroy this league and end it. I'm just kidding. What do you think of the Seals? Quentin Cook, what do you think of Quentin Cook?
Talent. A lot of high-end talent.
top heavy.
No depth. So guys like Notfall at shortstop, top-end shortstop. Huber, former MVP, good left fielder. Everett's a big player.
His offense is good. I mean, his offense is all he has, though. He has no pitching.
Quentin Cook may be the 4th best player on this roster. Also,
former
5th best
MVP
player from Australia.
Former MVP Quentin Cook.
Yeah. He's been good. Quentin Cook. That's what you want from a guy you're paying that much money.
Yep. I mean, I don't think he's a center fielder. Needs to be moved to the corner. He'd actually be even better if he was playing left or right field.
Yeah, I think he probably belongs in left field, but yeah, just really top heavy. I like Dragic and Richards. After that, nobody I'm in love with there. And then Metzger in the pen, obviously.
Dragic's kind of a bust. He was the 1-1 overall in 2015. He looked like a stud for a while, and I think a really bad injury kind of ended that. 18 months in 2016. Kind of changed the trajectory.
He's not a bust.
When you look at what he was, I think he.
He's at a. If you should sign for this for your first overall pick, pitcher of the year. He's gonna get you a couple thousand strikeouts, maybe. Anyway, but his career hasn't been that underwhelming. He probably threw too many innings in the first few years.
He came up too early, I think.
Yeah.
As well. I mean, he was drafted in 2015. He was in the majors in 2018. It's a pretty short minor league career.
He came up at 25, though.
Because he missed 18 months, though. Like, you got to give him a little time, I think, after the injury.
I guess that's fair.
Yeah. The guy pitched 40 innings and then missed 18 months. Then I guess he had 1 season in the in the minor leagues, you'd say.
Yeah, he was force-fed innings very quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, 33, 34 starts. That takes a concerted effort to go over 32 sometimes.
Yeah, I don't think any of my pitchers would like 30. He had 36 starts in 2025, which is crazy.
Yeah, it's hard to say he was a bust when he won Pitcher of the Year in 2019.
Yeah, he's not a bust, but this.
He's 33. I guess I didn't realize how old he
together.
was. Candidly,
Yeah.
he's kind of an old man now. But anyways, where were we?
Yeah, it looks like they're shedding a little salary, but still pretty top. Still one of the higher spenders in terms of payroll.
Tom
I'm not
Everett's
sure
interesting.
where the direction is, because yeah,
That's a big payroll.
Yeah, that's
To
always
have that much committed to next year already.
Yeah,
And I don't know if he's going up or down in budget, but 208 this year.
yeah. Some of these guys aren't worth $30 million a year. That's always been one of Alex's, I'd say, not his best move. Is he offers some bad contracts at times, and I would argue some of these are borderline bad contracts.
Well, the league's not capped, obviously, but the way the financials work, it's almost like there is a cap, and you gotta be comfortable with your salary levels going into certain years. I think anything over 170 is ambitious. It's tough to really make or be competitive over the long term if you have that much committed.
Yeah, he's got no room to, he's got a $6 million development budget, so he's got no room to really put into his system.
He could solve that by just trading one guy.
Yeah. Well, if you can. I mean, again, when they're on a 4-year contract as opposed to.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely not a market for Quentin Cook. I'll tell you that right now.
At retention, I think $15 million isn't bad for this guy if he wants to take the big hit for a couple years. But I don't know who else you'd trade on this team. Maybe Naftal, actually.
Alex says, "What can I say? I like my guys."
Yeah, he's loyal.
All right, well.
He's loyal. Yeah.
I love loyalty.
He's got 2 top prospects.
Oh, go ahead.
You go ahead.
Now I was going to talk about I'll talk about this later. I got something to speak about. I have something to ask you as well.
Fair enough. I was gonna say he's got 2 top 25 prospects here. Not too close, but I think Carlos Ayala looks really good if he develops. He's got the outfield bars. He's got the speed. He's got good offensive bars. I mean, it's all about if it comes in. He put up a really good year this year in rookie ball. He put up 2 WAR in 60 games. So could be the real deal. I think Trey Wood looks really good too.
Yeah,
Although not really a fielder, so.
Let's see who I got. Yeah, those are the 3 guys I got in the top 100. Ayala, Bueller, Wood. MacArthur looks like their best pitching prospect. Don't have him very high up though. Just with that, he's another one of those changeup guys.
Yep. So the Seals are who the Seals are for the next few years. Again, 80 and 82. A couple minor tweaks in the Ruby. You're definitely a playoff team. So.
Yeah, just move some of that salary and get some depth. He's probably right back in there.
Yep. All right, the Luchadores. Larry Luchador, as I like to say. Actually, it's the first time I've ever said it, but I think I'm going to say it more. What do we think of Mexico City? Kind of the profile we've seen year in and year out, except for I think the defense is a little better this year.
Yeah, it's been my favorite team to track. I think since I applied the model to this league, it's consistent. I will say the strategy is consistent, and there's a lot of respect for that. I love the balls to the wall pitching, fielding, bats come as they may.
Well, my favorite fact about Larry is how many out of the park leagues he's in. I don't know the exact number right now, but it's well north of like like 40 leagues or some shit like that, which is
What?
fascinating. Yeah, he's in like literally every out of the park league that exists, I think.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. The-
With
But
that
he
information.
but he told me this year that he's paying more attention to this league now. It seems to be moving towards the top of his list again as his most important leagues. So I like to hear that. Let's see if it turns into some results.
yeah. I would. Yeah, he has a plan, like he likes to say, a plan that I don't know if it's built for 2026 baseball. So very, good starting pitching, great closer, no offense, one power hitter, and great defense. So it reminds me of some of the teams from, like, if we're talking about Major League Baseball, from like the 60s and early 70s, where you can get away with that. I don't think there's enough everyday talent with the position players to make this team get over that hump and get in the playoffs.
I might be misremembering, but I feel like at least in the past he had good pitching, bad offense, and the defense was mid. The defense has taken a step forward, so I do like that. Looks like he's really picked up a lot of speed on his team, and again, maybe that's been something he's had, but he led the Fire Conference in steals, had pretty good base running, so. But yeah, no, nobody hits on this team really.
Well, every time he picks high, and he usually comes out with an explanation for his draft pick, his first pick.
Yeah.
And sometimes I wonder if what he's looking for as far as offensive players. He hasn't had great luck with these guys.
Yeah, I don't particularly like his drafting strategy. A few years ago,
I was being nice.
A few years ago, he took a first baseman, I think in like the top 5 picks, and then he tried to justify it in chat, but you really just can't take a first baseman in the top 5 picks and justify it. It's just not a justifiable thing to do.
Yeah.
I don't care how good he is. Like, you'll get him in the second round. That's the argument. No one else is taking him that early, so he'll be there. So to me, that's like a wasted pick almost.
So he hasn't had a positive WAR on all of his first rounders since 2019. Obviously, some guys aren't there yet, but it's been tough. It's been really tough.
Yep. We'd be doing a disservice if we didn't highlight Andre Crawford. 3-time pitcher of the year, 41 years old. Probably, I don't know, might be my favorite pitcher of all time in the TBL, just because of what he's done.
Yeah, he's.
Is he the greatest pitcher in TBL history?
No.
Roland Cook? No, not Roland Cook. Nick Henson, excuse me. Yeah. I don't know. A 95 WAR. Where's Nick Henson at? Not that WAR's everything.
Yeah, but let's take the WAR out of it for pitchers.
Let's compare Sleeps, not that Nick Henson.
Yeah, I just think Nick Henson is just dominant.
Okay. Yeah, that's tough to argue with right there.
Even if you want to use the WAR with Henson.
Yeah, he still wins. 375 strikeouts in a season is pretty special. That's like Randy Johnson.
Yeah, what do you have?
Nolan Ryan.
Like, is that a 375 strikeouts? That's we're never gonna see this again.
Yeah, likely not.
Yeah, that's pretty much game over, I think. That's it. That's the page.
That's a crazy year. 375 strikeouts, 0.75 whip. That's insane.
Yeah, 1.9 walks per night. Top of that,
1.43 ERA. Come on.
Well, strikeouts per 9 too. He's basically striking out.
The award's going to be named after the guy. This is the only guy where I'm pretty sure we can vote on the pitcher of the year being changed to the Nick Henson Award.
Yeah, 7 pitcher of the year awards. What's that? I think that's what Clemens did in the Major League 7.
Did he? Yeah.
With steroids. I don't think Henson did steroids, but you never know.
He could have. You never know. He's on Denver now.
I will.
He had a resurgent year in Denver. That screams steroids.
I will say, yeah, our league kind of is lax on the testing, so you never know. But
So, yeah, it's like Clemens compared to like Steve Carlton when we talk about Henson and the other guy in Mexico City, Crawford. But Crawford is just an Iron Man. Who knows how long he can go?
salaries are pretty free. He did sign Andy McGeegan off of Kansas City last year, which McGeegan had an okay season here, I guess. Led the league in RBIs, matched home runs like he always does. Actually, this guy surprised me. He hit his 400th home run this year, and he really wasn't on my radar as like a guy in the TBL. I'm not gonna lie, like McGeegan's not really a household name to me, but he's only like the 13th guy in TBL history to hit 400 home runs. So
Hall of Famer?
no, definitely not.
Definitely not.
No, I mean, I guess if he plays out this contract and he actually doesn't fall off a cliff, he has an outside shot of getting there.
Well, there's some magic numbers. I know this is not the MLB, but if he gets to 1,500 RBIs or 500 home runs, gotta put him in.
I guess. I mean, we talked about. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. Let's take a look. I'm kind of curious to see how many guys are in that club and if they're all in. Real quick. Like the RBI. Yeah, I guess he's actually up there. He's 7th all time in RBIs, so that's actually really impressive. What was the other category you just mentioned? The home runs?
Homers.
Yeah. Like I said, 13th, I think. 12th now, so.
Yeah, and he's 33. So if he he has a couple more years.
I think he's going to get the Joe Smith treatment. I think people just aren't. He's not a household name.
Well, the Luchadores, I know a little Spanish, but Luchadores, they like to just.
Oh, I think you hit mute. I think we lost you, JR.
I think we did.
But yeah, I'm actually surprised looking at McGeegan's average. Dude hit 341, 346, 331. He was pretty nasty in Vancouver for a minute.
Yeah, I don't think in the time I've been in the league he's someone that's popped off the page for me, but I had some impressive numbers there.
Click over to postseason. I'm wondering what he did there because I think I've seen him do enough.
He's got one MVP, so Wild Card Series MVP.
Huge numbers in the postseason.
Yeah, those are some impressive numbers there.
Yep.
He might be in the Hall of Fame now.
I can't believe Vancouver was in the postseason 3 straight years. I don't remember that. And speaking of, why don't we take a look? Well, let's look at his system, and then let's get to this last team here. Number 2 prospect in the league. Took him with the 4th overall pick this season, so still a lot unknown about him.
Yeah. He's a left fielder.
Yeah, probably switch him out at catcher.
Not as high on him, but still like him as their number 2 prospect. Their number 2, not the league.
He has to get to that 70, 80 power, whatever it may be. He has to be a scary hitter to pan out. There's nothing else that's going to be his carrying skill.
Yeah, I probably like Henson more than him, candidly.
Yeah.
Tell me who that first baseman was he drafted a few years ago. Can you find that? Because
I gotta find him.
He's not on the top list here, obviously.
No.
I'm so curious.
I just, it's funny. I was just on the page. Elias
Here he is.
Cisneros.
Oh my God. Yes, he's so bad. He's so bad. Larry. Larry, don't ever draft a first baseman
Well,
third overall again.
You know it's the wrong pick when 2 minutes later you're explaining that nobody asked about it. I mean, I'm not hating on his explanation. I like hearing it, but he jumps into the general chat and instantly defends it, which I didn't even know the guy existed. Cisneros.
My scouts got him at 30, 35 right now, so I don't know if we'll ever see him make the major leagues. He's putting up negative numbers in WAR in the minors. So.
Yeah. But Larry, positional importance wasn't. He drafted a shortstop. I think who was in Carolina now, Venezuela. I think his name is. Who's the best fielding shortstop in a TBL, and he kind of got burned there as well. The guy never developed as a hitter. But there's something going on in his minor leagues where he may be just rushing up guys too fast.
Well, he admitted to me he's been like hitting the auto button and not paying attention to the minor leagues, but that was part of his claim to me earlier this week that he's starting to pay a lot more attention. So I'm happy to hear that on that front. But I'm gonna go out and say it, not to pick on him, but this is the worst top 5 pick in TBL history.
The worst top 5 pick in TBL history?
Yep. I mean, someone can do the research on it. If anybody is going to, it's gonna be Reese because he's got all these awesome numbers. But
it may be up there, but he also may have others that he made himself. Sorry. He's made, because I have his first rounders here, he's made top five picks, and one of them is Antonio Santiago, and then nobody else has really done anything else for him. So who knows?
I don't got much on this system. Pretty low ranked. James Robinson's about the only pitcher I see coming up. And then a couple of hitters.
So yeah, I mean, this is the way a system looks when a guy runs 40 other franchises.
I will say too, and I hope he gets back on a future podcast. Like that was one of the best podcasts we ever did. We literally put like an 8-hour. I think we did an 8-hour podcast. And Larry's
it was pretty good.
Larry's perspective is like awesome.
Yeah.
On a lot of these teams and how he builds his teams and how people should build their teams. And he hasn't really backed it up with results. But I mean, he almost hopped on the podcast with me tonight, and that would have been fun.
Yeah, like I want to see it on his team. A lot of people listen to that podcast and they root for the Luchadores because of it, like me.
Yeah, so, for sure. I got mad respect for him after that podcast. That was really one of the better ones we've done. So I root for him to finish right under me in the division, and maybe right under Phoenix. So Oahu, Phoenix, Mexico City.
Your secret is that you gatekeep the Ruby from good GMs. So it's
come on! I just brought Don in. He looks like a ringer, maybe.
Oahu's barely making it. Yeah, of course, because he doesn't allow any good GMs in there. But
it's been
luck of the draw. I'm pretty sure there were a couple openings when I joined up.
I don't know if there were any in the Ruby, but I think there were. I think when you joined, there were. I think we had 3 or 4 empty vacancies. But for the most part, the GMs in this division have not turned over much, and part of that was me and Chris, who was the Sasquatch's GM, and Alex know each other, so that's half the division. But Daryl's been here since the first decade. Johnny's been here since the first decade. Brandon's an OG. Mexico City, like I said, he came in the mid 2010s. And Chris for Vancouver, I forget when he came, but he's been here for 10 years. So there hasn't been any turnover in the Ruby, to be fair. Right?
Yes.
Am I right? So.
What's that?
I think I'm right? There hasn't really been any turnover in the Ruby division.
Turnover?
Yeah, am I breaking up again?
Yeah, you are.
Shit. Well, anyways, let's move on to the Sasquatches.
Yes. Let's talk about Don's team because, he's a new guy and he seems to be very excited to turn this franchise around. Between him, Phoenix waking up, San Diego laying dormant, I think that this division is going to get real strong real quick.
I don't know if I'll go that far.
Well, tell me why.
Well, I don't know. I think the Sasquatches have been a sleeping giant. Chris mismanaged this team for a long time. He's been on autopilot since like 2018. And they have some really good pieces. This team probably should have been in the playoffs the last few years.
I think I had them pegged like 3 years ago as a playoff team. I remember highlighting Matt Jacobs like 3-4 years ago, thinking that this roster was going to get it done. So I think there's some pieces in place.
I'm curious. You think Matt Jacobs is going to be a Sasquatch next year? He's expiring. He's $37 million, coming off a $37 million contract.
Yeah,
I'd sign
baseman.
and trade him.
Yeah, I think that's the best move. Like a short contract and dangle him on the market. He's got a shit personality.
Yeah, I was gonna say just toxic.
Yeah, that wears on guys. For a guy who has that type of personality, he's had a long career as far as his prime's concerned, though. Sometimes you worry about those guys just having a nice peak and then just not doing anything for the success.
Yeah, I feel like he might be reaching the top of the hill, or maybe at the top of the hill.
That's a tough guy to re-sign there.
He's 30,
I wonder what he's asking for. I don't know if Don's on, if he can just tell us, but this is the type of guy in a situation where he's willing to re-sign for like $55 a year.
Yeah. Some Brian Marlin money right there, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. Hey, win a couple MVPs first.
He does.
Well, he's going to get one this year, I think.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. He actually, it's funny, he led the league in WAR this year in 24. He actually had a pretty good statistical season, and then the AI made Quentin Cook the MVP. It was beautiful. I think actually the MVP voters, because he had such a shit personality, were like, fuck you. And that might happen again this year.
That's baseball. That's something that happens all the time.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that was built into the engine a little bit. Anyways, anybody else you like on this team as it is currently constructed?
Justin Davis, I think, if he recovers from that injury, it's going to be, really good. I don't know. Tarver's got another year left, but he's also, I think, hurt.
Yeah, Davis is nice.
Tarver's, it doesn't count.
No, Tarver's done.
Yeah, he takes half a year off.
Tarver's the guy you sign in July and hope that he's still there in October.
July might be generous.
I tell you what, Don with Justin Herbert, who is a phenomenal young catcher.
Yeah.
And the pitcher that was injured, whatever his name, Justin Davis. That's how you start building a winner. Davis is a captain. Every day can be carried by Herbert as far as, just having a rock solid player, everyday player. And, you move Jacobs, get his malcontent ass off the team, and you can start building. But this team has a lot of talent for where they are.
Yeah, I mean, I like a lot more pieces than I thought I did. I think Todd Nelson is, what? Yeah, I mean, the numbers, the bars. Yeah, Todd Nelson in center field looks like a very solid piece. 18 zone rating in center field this year.
Wow. That's impressive.
Yeah, we're not expecting to see that. Yeah, Jimmy Bay under contract.
Actually, I did notice Todd Nelson was good, and I tried to get him at the trade deadline from Chris, and he ghosted me, which is why I encouraged him to move on. No, he's super sexy, but at the same time, his left fielder at -16 zone rating. So, yin and yang.
Yeah.
Yeah. Todd Nelson has, I don't want to say pedestrian, but he's got normal center field ratings, and then he does have that 18 zone rating. That shows you sometimes a guy knows how to play the position better, and those hidden ratings, they're there. Just can't see them.
To me too, though, you bump up. He's got sacrifice bunt for hit, so like for a guy that hits 220, you just bump those up big time, and you make him move runners along when he can.
Yeah, you could do that. We don't sacrifice bunt in Somerville.
Well, again, this guy's hitting 220 right now. In like 3 or 4 years, he could still be.
You can bunt for hit all you
want. A great center
fine,
fielder and hitting under 200. And
let me put it this way: when the strikeout rate is whatever it is in this league, I think it's at 22%. Can't give up outs that aren't productive. I mean, we can't give up outs. My team can't. Maybe your team can. But we don't bunk guys in the scoring position. And have
remember, we're talking about the Ruby right now. These are all Ruby.
Yeah, but it's league wide. It's league wide.
Yeah. I mean, big problem with the Sasquatches this year is the defense. Pretty much the worst in the Fire Conference, which makes it probably pretty much the worst in the TBL. So, yeah, improve the defense.
So he's a guy doing what he's doing in center field, and his defense is that bad. And I don't even know who I'm talking about because Don hasn't had a chance to do anything yet. But yeah, this team can be fixed very easy. I mean, not easily, but it can be fixed pretty quickly.
Yeah, I mean, I like Nick Leaf too on the mound. Like, I think him and Davis together, nice little, find a third piece in there. Jimmy Bay's already there. That's a nice little 1-2-3. And then you got, like you said, Herbert behind the plate like that.
He's gonna have to find some healthier players. I mean, there's a lot of guys on the injured list here.
I don't know what's going on in the corners. In the corner outfield in Spokane, I've never seen anything like it. They're by far the worst corner outfield in the TBL.
With the elite center fielder, that's what blows me away.
Yeah, I just don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, they're just starting to replace sitting down. That's what it looks like.
I mean, how do the corners have -16, -17, and then you got 18 plus? Like that's such an anomaly.
I can't believe this stuff. Yeah, I don't know how Robbie Barron seems to be a guy who can play. Well, he's not the guy who did this. Somebody else was out in the outfield who messed it up. Maybe Don went in there and changed it.
They're just waiting on Nelson to come grab the balls, I guess.
All right, Sasquatches. Anything in the system? I think it's a pretty weak system. A lot of these guys have been coming up. He's had a good system, and they're in the TBL now. They just haven't won.
I believe Chris is a good drafter, and Don's gonna get the spoils. Yeah, so
I
don't know.
Really like Flores. I think he looks really good. Doesn't really have a home other than first base though. We got another catcher in the system. Sanchez is what it looks like. Be a great backup defensive guy.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys, nice bats, don't know where they're going to play.
Yeah, I like Sanchez, a guy that makes contact and doesn't strike out, and he's an elite defensive catcher. I like that.
Yeah, especially when you already got one. I mean, that might be even a trade piece at this point when you got arguably the best catcher in the league coming up.
You say Chris was a good drafter. I don't know if I agree. This was a 1-1 pick. He was a catcher, and then I think like the next year his 1-2 pick was a catcher.
Well, all right. I mean, he could identify talent.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. I'm pretty sure he was on auto after the first round too, most of the time.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, he was? All right, so the AI is doing it. The AI is a wild card in drafting because it probably does better than the human. Because it doesn't. I don't know if it has biases like we do, but I didn't realize he did that. So Sanchez is a guy that I would look to deal.
Yeah, probably.
I like him too.
All All right, we gave Don a little love because he's new, but that team sucks. So let's move on to Vancouver and talk about probably one of the rougher GMs in the league. Although he's turning it around, I'm going to give him some credit here. He's turning it around, but
I think we shamed him.
I think
the
we did.
minor leagues,
he deserved it,
and that worked.
He was winning like his records in the minor leagues were like 10 and 112. Like he literally had like empty rosters. So
Not that much better, but
I mean, not great, but significantly better. He actually has a pretty good system, I think.
yeah, I don't disagree.
Like, not only does he have some top prospects, my head scout thinks they're okay. It's not like OSA fake shit.
Yeah, they're just not 20 yet. I mean, one guy's 20.
Again, I don't see any
guess
like
Chris-
defense on some of these top guys, but Ernie Flores looks nice.
I mean, yeah, they're so young though.
I don't know where Chris Jones is on that, but he looks.
Yeah, that's the guy I was looking at.
Yeah.
Looks like he's on the roster now, so he's still
he
a
is.
prospect, but he got a little time this year. 20
Did
innings,
he
so
graduate AAA? I mean, did he really graduate AAA?
he didn't get a service year, so next year will be his rookie year.
Yeah, this is the the challenge of having a bad minor league system. If you look at Chris Jones's minor league career, the guy should quit baseball because it's just like, first off, you're forced to throw 60 games, 0-24, 12.01 ERA. He threw 59 games in 2004, started 32.
Yeah. It's just a product of suffering through someone who didn't care about their minor leagues. Again, I'm hoping Chris turns that around. I feel like he has a little bit.
It's just a rough use of an opener there in AAA.
You assume that was
Well, it's not even an opener.
That's the thing. It just wasn't enough pitchers on the roster. He probably started
Yeah,
the
he just had,
game
like,
and then
5
came
pitchers.
out, and then he had to come back in the bullpen, which I know doesn't actually happen. I'm joking, but
But that, I mean, I don't know how he did it back then or whatever, but because I think he has 11 pitchers in AAA now, which is like a record.
we don't have ghost players. So if you don't fill your
There's no ghost
roster,
players,
you
all right.
just fucking lose, and your guys don't develop, and it's just gotta pay attention. So again, no, Chris, I'm not gonna keep bashing him because I do think he's taking a step in the right direction, but he's kind of placed himself as definitely a bottom 5 GM. I'm gonna say 5 to be generous.
If he's having fun logging in, I'll say it again. If he's having fun logging in, doing his thing, that's good with me because I mean, he could turn it around pretty quickly if he if he has a couple good drafts and spends money.
Yeah,
Well, he's
on
got
pitching.
Pretty much, he's got $40 million on the books for next year, so hopefully that money's going somewhere.
For sure. Look at his team stat rankings. It's kind of fascinating.
Yeah.
Second in runs scored, first in average on base percentage, OPS, WOBA. Dead last in everything pitching. Dead last in everything defense. So, I mean, put a little defense. Do you remember, I forget who the guy was, he had somebody playing center field who had like negative 35 zone rating and still put up like 7 or 8 WAR. Because he was just so good.
It wasn't Laredo, was it?
It might have been. Laredo
It might have been Laredo.
or Ruiz. Carlos Ruiz was really good for a while. I think he had one other guy, but...
Yeah, Laredo. Laredo is Laredo. 2019, 2020. Jeez. He put up a negative 29.7 zone.
I mean, the only thing I'd say to Chris is he looks at his team. Baseball's 3 parts. It's offense, defense, and pitching. And if you're only paying attention to one of the 3, your team's not going to win. So, really, the defense. Like, I don't know. It's so
16th in
easy
every-
to plug in a shitty
16th in every pitching category.
Yeah. It's so easy to plug in a shitty hitter that plays good defense, and it has a bigger impact on your team than a great bat who can't play defense.
Which is why WAR is something that I'm going to rail against. I use it, but, it's not perfect everywhere. And
Sure.
yeah, it's once you put a guy out there who hits well above the league's average at that position, then it kind of makes it look like the guy's doing a good job at that position, but they're not.
And candidly, just looking at Chris's team here a little deeper, it's the middle infield that killed him this year. Like, he didn't have terrible defense all across the board. He had negative 45, negative 46 zone rating from second base and shortstop.
Yeah, and that's specifically who I was talking about. Shortstop's above average, or he's at league average as far as hitting. He actually has a nice offensive profile. Same for the second baseman, hits 30 home runs. But that's probably where the team is fracturing. Every ground ball gets through.
Everyone, yeah. Yep. So, I mean, if he's got to focus next year, just try to find some defensive. The offense is great already. It's putting up great numbers. Plug in a few defenders in there, or find your gaps. Look at your defensive page and look at these zone ratings and defensive efficiencies, and fix that, and that'll improve the whole pitching staff and the whole team.
Yeah, only Toronto was. Well, I'm not going to say that. Vancouver had an insane amount of errors. They led the league in errors as well, 102. I was going to say just on zone, Toronto was worse, but they made 20 less errors. But yeah,
he's got minor leaguers pitching on his major league staff too. Like just look at the ratings, not even the numbers.
Yeah.
Like these guys all
look
should
how
be
angry these guys are.
These guys all should be an A or double A, like they're getting ruined right now, I think.
Yeah, no, these are guys that when I look at those ratings, those are that's what I have in my A system right now.
When a guy has
my A, low A.
When a guy has 54 strikeouts and 60 walks, or 79 strikeouts and 76 walks, that's a red flag.
I have a suggestion for Vancouver. I would ask Jay in Denver to send me a bunch of those minor leaguers that Jay has. He's got like 30-year-old minor leaguers that are they're ready for it. They can play TBL. I'd send him a couple picks and send me like 8 or 10 of those guys that can just eat a year's service time and just play TBL baseball while the guys that are up there right now stop accruing service time and actually get good seasoning.
First of all, stop telling people to trade with Jay. That's crazy.
No. That's the only trade I want people to do. Get some of these guys.
I'm just saying, I'm on free agent. I'm on the free agent page right now. Look how many 45 overall pitchers there are right here that want no money. Just sign them to minor league contracts and put them on your team, and take all those 35 overalls and put them in your minor leagues where they belong. So, like, you don't need these like future stars up there getting experience. Just sign all these journeymen and just be a journeyman team until they're ready.
Or even like those mid-range relievers that sit in AAA for a couple years and don't actually look good enough until they're 27. I feel like a lot of them are getting ruined right now on the major league roster.
Yeah.
So
you gotta be okay. You gotta be okay with a guy being a rookie at 26 or 27. If that's how long it takes, that's how long it takes.
They're ready when they're ready. And I mean, the reason, just to circle back to it, the reason they're still not ready at that age is because he hasn't had a minor league system. But now that he's fixed that, I think it's time to start, taking the development more seriously. Anyways, I feel like we really came down hard on Chris there, but I do it out of love. I hope he.
No, it's a good mental exercise for us because it's something where we can see a pathway.
Sure.
For Spokane, Vancouver,
yeah.
Nashville, whoever. You can see a pathway to being competitive.
Yep.
I like you were showing, I like the Vancouver prospects. There's guys in there that you could kind of anchor your organization around, gear it up for a couple of years.
And Chris does have 30 million in the scouting, 30 million in development. So he's committed to that side of the game now with his finances. He just needs to put it all together. He needs to put that puzzle piece together. So he's got 72 million on the books. That's nothing. 44 million next year. He's an open slate. Again,
He can buy a good team opening day team. He can buy a good opening day roster with his money.
Yep. The offense is there.
And maybe trade. Yeah.
Yep. All right, we finally got through it. I appreciate it. This one was a bit longer than the Nice Conference for sure.
No, it's fun.
Yeah, good times.
Cool. Well, I was the last team to export, so all the playoff teams are in. I'm going to re-pull exports per Ryan's request because some people have made changes. But I'm going to take like a 30-minute break, and we'll get the playoffs rolling at 8 o'clock tonight. Games 1 through 4. If either of you want to join,
everybody.
Feel free to join. Yeah, it's up to you. I know you've been.
I may be on. Like I told you, Paul, I was blessed with a free open house tonight. So
for sure,
chilling, drinking beer, and watching whatever's on the tube. So
yeah. I might pour a glass of whiskey here and then
there you go.
Reconnect in a few minutes. So yeah, Reese, thank you again. Do appreciate you committing your time to the league. And thank you to everybody else who's listening. We've had a lot of listeners on this one tonight. We've got 28 views. I think that's maybe the most I've seen on a video in a while or on a stream.
Hopefully people outside of the TBL who play OOTP can see the greatness that is the TBL.
Yeah, I don't know about that. That'd be cool. But actually, I guess before we disconnect, that brings up one more story. When we used to stream on Twitch, and when Chris and I were streaming once, we had one of those like raids, like 200 people joined the stream, and Chris literally like couldn't continue to talk because he said he got so nervous, which makes me really laugh.
Well, we should be on Twitch because that happens all the time with OOTP because of the perfect game content or whatever it's called. People watch for the packs and everything, and they think they're gonna go to another stream and get credit for watching. So I think this is a great league. Let's get it out there. Let's get back on Twitch.
Yeah, the tricky part is I wanted to keep a video history of the whole league, and then I had to upload every video to YouTube after. It was just taking time. So this one, it just goes straight to the directory, so to say. But I definitely, I need some improvements to the stream, like just the QOL. And if we ever get that figured out, maybe I'll consider it.
Yep.
Anyways, thanks again. We'll wrap it up here. Good luck to our playoff teams tonight.
Yeah.
Good luck.
There.